The arm of Rosedale is located to the north and west of Neepawa, stretching west to Franklin and north to Kelwood. The total land area is 865 square kilometers, divided into 6 wards, each with its own member of council. The arm of Rosedale has struggled with keeping up with its mowing and grading this summer thanks to a staff shortage, so September sees them in catch-up mode. As CAO McDonald says, they're so far behind they're doing what they should have been doing in the spring. The vacant positions have been filled, but staff is still in training, and they ask constituents to be patient while they all get up to speed. The RM is also considering adjusting equipment depending on the conditions of the various roads and ditches. October marks the start of the decision-making process for next year's equipment buys, so now is the time to have those conversations. Rogers Communications has proposed a telecommunications tower in the area which requires municipal road access for their heavy equipment. The RM is open to allowing their access needs to address the cell service problem that they have in the area, but want to ensure that they have a conditional agreement to cover the scope of that use. The big conversation this month was around the selling of lots within Franklin, which is a decision that is not just limited to that community, but which also applies to the rest of the communities within the municipality who would be held to the same conditions should the bylaws and policies be changed. Current policy requires newly purchased lots to have a building constructed on them within 1 year. But holding to that policy for backlot areas might involve new road development and other costly measures. Council is looking at options to reclassify some of the lots or build into their bylaws that lots meeting specific conditions, such as lack of access, must be purchased with another lot. There's also consideration around who is maintaining the lots and ensuring the community is not at risk of wildfire. The discussion is ongoing and will likely form part of an overall municipal strategic plan. The Eden Fire Hall water access was also on the agenda, as the contractor has been unable to locate the old water line to hook into. The option of hooking up to potable water for the fire truck usage was considered, as well as putting out a new line directly into the well instead of continuing to search for the old line. All options will be costed out before a decision is made. Other items the RM considered this month were aeration support for Kerrs Lake, participation in the Valley Life Seniors Housing Project, a couple of subdivisions, and following up on future bridge repairs. Tenders were received for repair of Boundary Road 84, and Council made decisions to go forward, as well as discuss the topic of gravel reserves in general. As well, work continues on testing local clay to see if it is suitable to line a new landfill. The arm of Rosedale's 2023 tax sale will be held on their next regular meeting date of October the 13th. Following is the Rural Municipality of Rosedale's September meeting in its entirety.
That this regular council meeting convenes at 10 o'clock. And with Reeve Carlson as chair, we have a mover, Earl. Seconder, all in favor? Carried. Be it resolved that the regular council meeting agenda of September the 8th, 2023 be approved as presented. Mover, Dave Tudorick. Seconder, Jeff Henderson. All in favor? Carried.
Who's right here?
We have
Just for your hand.
we have a system today.
You're gonna hear it.
It's harvest. Hey. No, that the minutes of the regular meeting held August the 11th, 2023 be adopted into the curricula. Excuse me. Do I have a mover? Robert. Second.
Gonna be busy
Getting your votes in today, carried, or all favor, carried. That council agrees to adopt the August 2023 financial statement. Mover? Second and third on trust. All in favor? Carried. The council approved the accounts for the month and the amounts of as follows. General, or August 2023. General, 2,660, oh no, 26,000, sorry. 607, 70, no.
You gotta call it there.
$266,070.61. Water, well, 1,282.33. Do I have a mover? Seconder? Earl Burton. All in favor? Carried.
So move to committee reports. So I'll just call on Dave for the Valley One Council report.
Okay, this is the building group, one in Rosedale. We've been, there's been no meetings during the summer, everybody took the summer off. There was one at the end of June. I was unavailable to attend that. That was about a new developer coming into the R2 Mendoza, Jack Good Development, and they were going to, they're looking at building building something like the Elks Manor, where you actually buy into it and then pay a lease on it. So this developer comes in, gets this building going, and then passes it on to a support group to manage it. So Valley Life is looking into that, along with possibly building their own housing unit. So we have a meeting on September 20th on that. There was the surveys they did back in June, or May and June, or April, May, June. There was 300 plus surveys that came back in. Out of that 300 plus surveys, 13 were from the Iron Rosedale, less than 4%. Information is what that is. So come on the 20th, we're going to be looking at sites, or what a site would look like, and also this Jack Goods development going forward. So that's all I got to say on that.
Okay.
And then just correspondence from the Equal Area and Planning District. The meeting minutes there are attached. So there's a bunch of subdivisions that we're going to be reviewing today further on in the meeting that were noted in that July 24th meeting. The meeting minutes from the local LED Kelwood.
I have a concern about the minutes. And then that's the fact that, like with the section there, on Westlake Gladstone, becoming a member.
What's this on district planning?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So what's the feeling there with those guys? Like, is it becoming almost unwieldy? Because it looks like it's gonna cost us more money to hire more people to administer it. I'm just wondering, like, how was the feeling in the meeting?
I didn't make the meeting.
Oh, I thought you were there.
No, sorry, we were harvesting, so I
Okay.
couldn't make it, so. I don't know if Robert was there or not.
According to this, he was
He
there.
made a motion here.
Yeah.
Oh, did he? Okay, so he was there, okay. Yeah,
Yes, we were.
no, I'm sorry, I did not make it. We were
I didn't mean to put that
hard in harvest, so I had to bow out.
Okay.
Um,
In that case, just register a concern.
Yeah.
Is that it seems like it's becoming almost
I know
unwieldy.
the meeting before that, there was talk of Gladstone falling in with us, or the district planning board or whatever, but yeah,
But they would have to pay a similar levy as though we pay
exactly.
towards that if that was to happen. That's my guess.
Yeah, no, they would be the same as,
So they would help offset costs of more staffing and required, I guess.
required, yeah.
I never made one of those meetings, but that's what I would suspect.
Yeah. Just becoming a really big area.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
Well, and there was talk to, the other meeting when I was there about Jeff now being base 3 inspector. Keystone out of Brandon wanted to his services, so, you know, they were concerned about him stretching himself too far out.
Oh, yeah.
I know there was a lot of talk about that, so I know it brings in a lot more revenue for the district planning board, but in that case, all the, you know, have to hire more people and that's puts more on us too, so. But anyways, that's all I can tell you about that. This is a meeting prior. Okay, local district.
Yep, already do Calwood, so the meeting minutes are present. It looks like a lot of things are complete. Letters have been sent to the ratepayers in question. And then the TNR donation had a resolution. Can't remember what meeting, but we'll look into if it's been forwarded, if the donation's been forwarded. Does anyone have any questions about that?
No, those 2 culverts were installed, that's, that was done maybe 10 days ago now, so the one at
On Neil Street.
Neil Street and the one on the new development going in there. Both those have been installed since.
And do you want to discuss the scale at all?
Scale? Oh, yeah, I'm not sure. I think they're doing, I don't have much to say, I didn't make that meeting myself. The building is in need of some repair and they don't want to lose it from the community because it's kind of handy. But the original committee is now all gone except for Joe, and he is retiring from that process, so they're trying to figure out how to take over themselves. So I think there'll be more updates coming from the next
Further
other
on
meetings.
down the
Yeah,
line.
yeah, because it'll take a bit of a process, either set up a committee or whether the LUD can take it over is kind of what they're working on, I think, so.
To put it up to the LED, wouldn't it be a lot easier to handle going forward?
I think it would be 100% because again, it's part of the community
Yeah.
too, and it's a community building. It was, the scale itself 100 years ago come from the UGC elevator, and then the town built the building over it, developed a committee, and now they just got old. You know, some of
Yeah.
the committee members are gone. I think Joe's obviously not gone, but I mean, some of them are just gone, so it's how it works out. So.
It's an actual certified.
No, it's I'll say a local used, like it'll tell you the difference of the weights, but it's not an exact government inspected scale, no. But we do use it for bale and weighing and grain weighing in the area, so okay.
Is there, did you charge any for it?
No, no. That would be a cool thing to do, but I mean, it's all
Yeah.
comes from the local taxpayer.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
money put up the building was
Right.
done by free money, so to speak, like not our money, but town money. People did it, so
What is, how much repairs need to be done?
shingles is the big thing right now. Yeah, that's what they're talking about right now. So.
Because it's just a lean, just an open buildings, all it is.
Yeah, they put doors on it originally, but the wind was wreaking havoc, so they took them off. But I mean, they just the roof is.
Roof and pole shed.
And it's not very big. It's not a big building. I don't know what it would be, 20 by 30 or less maybe. I can pace it off, but I'm not sure.
This must be fire and stuff, eh? Right. It's gotta be, well, really bright.
That's for fire stuff?
Yeah, that'll be a roof.
Yeah, that's for the new fire truck, probably
Yeah.
was about
Budget.
13
Yeah,
grand.
Yeah, for sure.
42.
Because that was the stuff they needed for that equip that new truck probably.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because, I know.
Unless there's more here yet, but
Yeah. Because that was budgeted in, after the fire truck was purchased, there was extra, $13,000 some dollars. I think Colleen looked into it.
Yeah.
I don't, Melissa probably was involved with that, I think Colleen was at that time. So he was given the dollar figure, I think it was $13,000 was extra for hoses and hoses and everything else. So that truck is pretty much fairly well equipped right now. Yeah, we'll get into that, there's another thing Brian sent me to. Yeah.
That's all. Really, new truck.
But yeah, there's hoses and everything else, so.
So is there any more on the LUD questions or? No? Okay, we'll move on.
So the RCMP occurrence stats are down from last month. I think there were 28 occurrences and now we're down to 17. And then, I'm not sure. if there's-
CAO's report.
Oh, didn't realize that one was on there. So has everybody had an opportunity to review? Do you have any questions?
The Jeffrey and Jericho.
See,
So the person in Gladstone didn't take the job, is that?
No.
Okay. Got it. And the Cameron Martin, that's, is that the person who's in class one?
Yes, he has class 1 and then previous hauling experience and equipment experience as well.
I never used.
Just scroll down to.
Yeah.
Jeffrey does not have his class,
It'll come up.
but
Is
he'll
it?
work
No,
on.
close out.
He's only been with us for 3
Anything that has
days, so
the
we'll
red,
work on.
red thing?
Yeah.
Tap
He
on
does have
that
his
where the red
airbags,
thing is.
and was
Or tap,
intending
or
on
where the
doing
CO's one is.
his class
There you
3.
go. Like that.
And what about, like, yeah, one shot, is there plans for that?
So Cameron is basically on his own already, because he has previous experience operating years ago. So Mike took him out and they've been working together. He's only been with us, this is his 2nd week, and he's already going on his own. And then Jeffrey was doing some other stuff earlier on in the week, so he'll get some greater experience today, this
Yeah,
afternoon.
they did good. I know, I did wonder about that. Give a nice job. And 471.
Yeah, no, they did.
Really nice job.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but since with this animal control thing, I've been touring lots of roads and it's entertaining to be able to see what's been done and not done here. And I don't think we're in terrible shape, but I would like to make the suggestion that we look at getting things that done that need to be done and not the extras to get caught up, if everybody's in agreement with that.
Yeah.
You know, somewhat like the mowing, I know there's issues, there's always, I guess, but this way, let's get what needs to be done now, and if there's time at the end of the year before the snow flies to get the other projects. I know you've got lots of projects in your end, Ron.
My project's on, just the roads graded.
Yeah,
Roads,
roads,
and
and I
I
think
only
that's-
been on once.
Yeah, and I mean, when I say projects, I mean extra project. Roads graded have to be done, like, there should be a
Like
final,
this.
a final pass probably pretty soon, I would think. Well, probably,
Hopefully it's not final.
I would put it this way, no, but like the rough areas get done first and then do a final pass probably after that, right?
Because, like I
Yeah,
said,
I know, Ward
Yeah,
5's
so-
got a few areas, but that's not bad, but usually the final passes, in the past, it's been maybe a little later than it should be, and then the snow flies and the gravels. So if we can have some time between final pass,
but like this guy did it last year and then other years, and up there it's not bad because my roads are made of more to clay.
yeah,
But they get dished out,
Yeah.
the graders fall on the tracks,
yeah,
and there goes the gravel.
yeah.
So work 1 was done last week. That one should
Right.
be up to stuff.
Actually,
It should be
Ward
good
1
to
was
go.
pretty decent because.
2
like I
graders
said,
went there.
Through it, going to his area for
Yeah.
the animal control
Yeah,
situation,
yeah, yeah.
and so, like I said, I'm not scoping all the roads, but I
Yeah.
just take a different road for, look at different entertainment is what it is, it gets kind of boring otherwise.
Well, I know.
Yeah, but it's, they're looking pretty decent,
Like I said-
but not bad.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Like in mine, I don't mind saying, I'm saying mine are decent, better than Washington places.
I know there's some roads that need some extra loving, if you wanna call it, and mowing is,
When's the mower gonna be fixed, you know?
It's fixed.
It was
He'll
fixed
be
now?
mowing today.
yeah.
I took some pictures of that, guys. I don't know what
Well,
operators. And I hope you don't think Ward 4 only has stones and I sent them something.
That's what I heard. That's
Well,
the only ward.
I heard more than that, I'll tell you more what I heard.
Just teasing.
there's going everywhere, but it's not, if you look at that, Howard, we've got a different blade on there now, because what happens, you have a plate here, and you have your knife goes in here,
Mhm.
and what happens, that blade, there's no breakaway on it. What happens, that blade's like this, so when it wants to kick back, it spreads us apart. So now we put a longer blade on it, so it has a chance to break out of the way. So if it hits a object, it has a breakaway point. Because the digging blades in there went back so far, and then it would pinch in there, and it would do this, spread it apart, is what it did.
That's where the pressure went.
Yeah, that's where the pressure went.
There's a bushing in there too, isn't there?
Yeah, but that bushing just pivots on there, has nothing to do
I know.
with it. Because otherwise, if you have that bushing too loose, the blade's gonna go like this, right?
And that's what was happening before.
Yeah, well, now that, I was there this morning to see how the mower was making, so, like I say, I happened to be going by the shop, it's the wrong time, the panels, Howard says, come here. But anyways, so as we looked at it, you can see where that Degelman blade, all of a sudden will go
like a 2-inch break, and then it would jam in there,
Why would it jam?
because the step, it's like this, Ron.
Oh, I see the step. Yes,
The
yes,
step would
yeah.
jam between the two pieces.
The curve, you mean.
And then force it apart.
The curve of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sort of.
it's not straight.
It's not straight.
It's like
So
this.
now the new blade has a longer straight part.
Correct.
So then that blade now can break away probably 6 to 8 inches
Yes,
away
I
from the
understand.
cutting tip.
Yeah.
Where before we had a 2-inch breakaway.
Right.
Now we have triple that breakaway.
Right.
So we have a little more safety there.
Right.
Yeah.
It's got the old move, right? It's got, that's the idea.
The idea of those blades, really those blades should go right back underneath.
They should fold right.
Yeah, with that design of that, with that bottom plate there,
Yeah.
it will never do that. It's not designed to do that. It's not, it's a grass mower, not a heavy duty brushing mower, I guess, put it that way. So with these other blades on there, it's gonna be better. Not perfect, but better.
But it was just these things over here that he was rolling around. Like I know I specifically don't go past that point. And the other road, Carl told me that I went down it. Yeah, roads were right here. It should have went there. Or you should have seen them, because honestly, there's no grass to even cut.
No, I
So
know
you're
there's
scheduled.
the idea is the stones in the ditches that have been brought up, Colleen brought this up a couple months to me, I guess, and they never brought me. Maybe in the long term, we should be looking at a stone picker for the RM rental one, or just buying a cheap used one and go in the spring before the grass starts to grow and get rid of these rocks out of the ditch so we don't have an issue. Picking them by hand is tough, but if we have a rock picker, is that something that council would entertain, I guess? Like, I'm saying, it doesn't have to be perfect or fancy on it, something that'll just pick the rocks up.
Probably one of them little ones.
Well, I was thinking about a bucket for the tractor, we pick lots of stones with a bucket, but I mean, it's.
Well,
It's hard on a stone bucket, I don't need
The
a
stone
bucket.
picker's well, you can see it right there. The bucket, you're flipping, you know what picking a stone is on a ditch like?
Yeah.
You're chasing it for 2 miles, right?
But I don't mean a bucket, I mean a stone bucket, an actual
Oh, I see.
two-time,
Yeah.
two-time stone bucket home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with a rock picker, so you put a bunch in there and then
Carry them somewhere, yeah.
Carry them someplace and dump them.
One of the fork ones even probably would work, wouldn't it?
Something we could, yeah.
They don't need reel.
We don't reel fork, whatever it is, something we can look at.
Is it a conflict of interest if I got one?
Well, it's something that we should entertain, yeah. There's lots of them sitting out in the countryside. I know where there's lots of them out there.
I got one that's sitting
Well,
there not doing nothing.
Well, there you go. So, you know, it's something we should.
Put it on and see.
Yeah.
Maybe nothing,
But
yeah.
yeah, come
Got no rocks to pick.
We don't have time this year to do it,
No.
but it's something next spring before the grass starts to grow. You go out there and if our guys know where the areas are to target, let's target them.
And like I say, Cody should be marking where the rocks are.
Yeah. Well, and if, I was
Because
just gonna say,
you'll forget, I mean,
Yeah.
everybody forgets.
but if he should, we could bring him back, if he's gonna work with us again next year, bring him back 2 weeks sooner. Put him loose with a stone picker.
Yeah.
And
Go
then he'll
around.
know, as you say, rather than trying to get somebody else, hey, they're there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I think I like that idea, so.
You like that idea?
Yeah.
So it's something we should work for and then, yeah, that's,
Because it-
for, like, I don't know if we approach a gentleman up at the Ploney area that has one of these units, what he's gonna ask for one.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
know, but it's something we can negotiate
Yeah,
at a different time.
Yeah.
because if they don't,
I
get
do.
that, like you say.
You like that
they don't
idea,
have
Carl?
it yet.
Well, you
There
can
you
get
go.
more stones, but if you get rid of the ones you can find.
Exactly.
then
We're not gonna get rid of all, but if we get,
No.
you know, 80% of them or
Yeah.
90%,
Yeah.
let's start.
Because frost brings them up, people
Yeah.
got them in the ditch.
Well, yeah, sometimes they all of a sudden, the wind blows them off the field and into the
Yeah,
ditch.
happens.
Or even off the road, they get pushed in the ditch.
Yeah, they go,
See if
yeah.
See, I know I have one there.
It's something to look forward to, work.
I didn't communicate
I
to
think
her,
it's
so I'm
a-
assuming you did.
No, that's a good thing.
Good idea.
Good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, because otherwise I'm gonna get,
Just,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
gotta sit in there.
Yeah, and I was, like I say, I've seen in Ward 3, you went over some of them. Also nuggets, yeah. I've seen.
did you see, like, so did you go west of your place at all? In the Ward 4?
No, I haven't been up that road.
Well, if not,
Because I specifically told.
we'll go,
I know there were back, of course, Russian back, there was also snowy country, and they were pretty high.
Yeah.
But I said, I don't know if you've seen.
It's a pretty
I'll
fun
go
meeting.
along when I did that.
101, half a mile,
That's why I want to keep.
half a mile.
Yeah, I know it was bad, don't get me wrong, the willows were.
Yes,
Yeah.
but only half a mile, because I brushed that years ago, and of course, look what happened.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
But I said, only go half a mile to that spruce tree line.
Yeah,
I said, but beyond that point, I know that's nasty,
yes.
but even beyond that point. And you didn't have to go far beyond that point, and this is where the first time when it happened.
Okay.
And the second time it happened in his area.
But I will say, it's a good thing we put them at.
No reason in that.
Oh, definitely.
If that was in us.
I couldn't figure out what you mean by, but yeah. I know
Yeah,
what
well,
you mean.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Just
Yeah,
want to say
can't
that
fold.
I would never took
Can't
it.
fold around.
Exactly.
Like a breakaway one, exactly.
That's the problem, that's the
Well, whatever.
problem.
And that's probably why a lot of that,
It's been handled with, I think.
with the grass
Sure.
and some of that stuff, he wasn't cutting it, because I don't know.
Those blades, I see what the job makes now.
Two quick questions.
Right.
It's the original blades that are on there now.
Okay, okay.
So I will talk to Melissa, and she can talk to Mike, I'd like to see what's going on, how it does going forward.
Right, right.
I have two questions for you.
And then,
Yep.
So I just wanted to make sure, like you've got been here about the taxes and all that. So on
I
the,
agree.
in the council members guide, in June and July, make sure you're on track for property tax bills being printed and sent out. So I'm assuming that happened, because I have one, yeah. And it looks like the supplementary ones, like, I don't know how much more of a learning curve and workload that is, but is that going okay?
I received a spreadsheet, everything's been calculated, I need to make letters, I need to understand how to reproduce the tax bill for one of the properties that's a subdivision. So the roll number didn't exist last year, and we're responsible to make that statement. Apparently there's a program, so I just need to dig into how to do that, yeah. I think there was only one property, so I think there was 42 adjustments to be made.
And then in October and December, they say start making decisions for next year's financial plan, so I'm just getting it on record that, like, I'm hoping for next month that we can start talking about strategic plans and financial plans and things like buying more equipment and whatnot. So I just figured it was a good time to bring that up.
Yeah.
So just want to ask for everybody's patience and remind everybody we only had one operator for all of August. So we're far behind and we're catching up. The guys will go to Ward 4 today.
Okay.
So they did Ward 1, and then there was a request to do the dump road, 91 North. We're gonna get paid for that portion because somebody was hauling on the road, a contractor was hauling, and they requested that we
Oh, that's
operate
Ian
it.
Roberts.
So we'll send an invoice out to them for however long it takes.
Okay.
And Bill Symmetric quit today as well, so we'll be hiring a new person to take care of Elk Ranch, and then hopefully posting the foreman position next week.
No, they've been doing good.
Hey,
I say the graders been doing good, what they did last week, I see. On your work.
Bill quit.
Yeah, this morning.
Okay.
I will make a comment about the public works department. Actually, I was quite impressed with Mike stepping up to the plate and, taking on a leadership role. Talked to him briefly about this mower thing and his ideas and his forthcoming was, I went right on my go for it. So that's a good thing to see, and kudos to Melissa for getting that out of him too as well. So
Yeah.
I see there's some good camaraderie going on there, so nice to see.
That's it, can I mention something about that then too, I guess? Well, Mike and me, like I say, I was chatting him up too, and I'm glad he stepped up to the plate. And one thing he did say, the road's being neglected a little bit, you could say, I guess. Well, it wasn't nobody's fault, I mean, he was only one man show. But with these picks, he was on the road the other day, and a week ago or so too, there was in your area, I think, or no, he was early. And with stuff coming off on the sides, I mean, even if that grass is that high or weeds, they're plugging up like bad. When you get piles. He kind of questioned me, I don't know, did anybody else going into a straight blade? He's never used straight blades before, but he'd like to try it, just for cutting these, because a straight blade is gonna cut that grass. These picks are just plugging up and they're digging piles.
I honestly think we should leave that alone. Stay out of the grass, first of all. And
Oh, I agree too.
The cost of switching to the straight blades from where we are, not a good year for that. Budget reasons, I mean, if he stays out of the grass, he'll have no trouble with that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no grass cutting, it should be done now anyway.
I don't think so, that's my self-thinking
You
too,
can just move over here,
Yeah.
over the grass,
but come springtime, he's gonna have to get into it too.
maybe.
We will have to, because
Yeah.
otherwise these roads are gonna get affected.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the process for right now.
No, right now, I agree with that too. I mean, I would say stay out of it for now, because you're just gonna create
Yeah, because there's lots of roads to cover without.
Oh, definitely.
Picks will do great on, so.
Yeah.
So the
But-
direction that's been given is to cut the sides in Ward 4, because we just cut the grass there, to widen the road as much as we can without plugging everything up and without putting a bunch of dirt in
Yeah.
the center of the road. They're also basically cutting back those windrows so that they're rolling gravel to the center of the road
Right.
versus rolling it from one side to the other and into the ditch.
Mhm.
They're cutting both
Both
sides and then
sides.
spreading the center.
Yeah,
That was, I think that was normal.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah. No.
So we wanted to do Bronzeward because Cody just finished cutting it, or he's actually in there finishing it up. So then the grass is short, so it shouldn't cause so much plugging. and
But it's
such.
still well, I think, especially if it's, I mean, that grass, those roots and stuff, I don't know. It's not like in the springtime where it's dead.
Mhm.
Well, it'll roll more dry.
And I think I agree, it's something next spring we have to tackle. Right now, bringing any more grass or sod to the center of the road is redundant, if you want to call it. We need to get rid of the windrows, pack it down and move on, and then next spring, the roads need to be, cut out, I guess, or cut back to the ditch. I don't disagree with what you're saying,
No,
they're getting this way.
Yes.
And the right process to do that, I don't know. To be honest, I'm neutral on that right now.
But I think the springtime is time to cut the grass back.
Yeah,
yeah.
Picks will work there because the grass is dead, the road will
Yeah.
be up the dirt.
But I still say,
Maintain what we
a
got.
smooth edge, guys.
Yeah, I like the
Pick
picks
up that
better, so
grass.
that's a discussion I can go on for, I like the picks way better, always did.
Picks aren't cutting grass, picks don't cut.
But you know.
Picks will cut
Yeah.
washboard, but they're not gonna cut grass.
So what we could do as a trial, and I hesitate, let's say, put a set of straight blades on in the springtime and try it. You know, give it one shot around, and it's a trial thing, you know, and then let the operators give us the report back.
Yeah.
Okay? So if they're gonna go along with the, probably two machines, I'm speculating, okay, so one guy's gonna cut the shoulders, the other guy's gonna pack or whatever. So then straight blades, cutting back the grass, you got the picks doing the other part, and let's see what we got for a report back from the operators. See what they like. Because those are the guys that are doing the work for us. You know, and then of course, there's always a cost involved, picks versus blades too, so I don't know where the cost is, but I think being a new working group, as we call it, let's do some background and some knowledge in this thing. And you've done both sides of it, I'm not disputing that, but let's see what the operators give us back.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I know the roads are,
Well, they're getting narrower.
yeah, I'm not arguing that part, that's for sure.
So the comments from the crew is basically we're so far behind, we're doing what we should have done in the spring.
Yeah.
So the windrows are in the grass already.
Yeah.
So we either cut them and roll them up and get into the grass a little bit, or
I would think.
the road is just gonna get more narrow.
Yeah, we're going for
Yeah, lots of roads.
Yeah, lots of
Watch
cover.
the middle of the narrow road, it's better than a crappy road.
Let's not restart something, let's just finish up what we got.
So I think there's enough time, like you say, to get rid of all that material, like, I mean, because you say this might be the final pass.
For some roads it will be.
For some roads it will
We
be.
never,
Yeah.
yeah, we never know when it falls, because no freeze up's coming.
No.
We have no say of that.
Yeah.
And they got a lot of roads to cover to do, to cut them all properly
Yeah.
one more time, in my opinion.
And there is some windrows there that need to be, like Melissa said, bring them, pack them, and then there's gonna be some roads that may need another pass later, but we'll deal with that as we go.
Well, we have to leave those in the grass, we'll just leave them in the
But I
grass.
just hate to say it, but if it snows middle of October, then we have nothing done, then what are we doing,
It
right?
could,
So,
very well could.
yeah,
That's only a month away.
I know that. So let's do what we have to do.
Yeah.
So we
Not adding more to the list.
So we have 3 grader operators now, like Mike and 2 news?
Yeah.
We have
people?
2.25.
Okay. No, that's fine, I'm just, because I know you can't learn everything in a second, it's, but the potential is to have a 3rd grader operator
Yes.
in the next month or
To
so.
have
I'll
all
say.
3, yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah. So then we could put straight blades on one of them, keep picks on, and then send them together.
Like now? Not-
Well,
in the spring.
Jeffrey,
In the spring.
the first time
In the
he's been in a grader is this afternoon, so I don't
Yeah.
want to send
Yeah, I
it.
think I would leave just the graders the way they are.
Just leave them
Operating the way they're operating
And
and
next
covering
spring,
roads.
Okay.
The spring will readdress the.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll speak on behalf of Ernie,
Yeah.
and it'll be an adamant, get rid of the picks.
Okay.
He's been adamant about that.
Since the day we got the morning, yeah. But
The issue is the straight blades are so expensive.
Yeah, that's the cost.
So
of it,
then
is it?
you can just change one pick, or you can change a whole blade. That's the problem for us.
And then I'll speak on behalf of myself, the only 2 road building and maintenance manuals that I can find, both say the standard practice is straight blades, and picks for serious areas, for specific areas that need rehabilitation.
Right.
Otherwise, the standard is straight lane.
I know Langford is using PICS, I think, as well, and so is Westlake.
Middle to, yeah.
Yeah. A majority of folks are switching over, so I don't know when the manuals for the road maintenance were written, that you had reviewed, if they're up to date or current or whatever, but it'd be good to send our guys to training as well, to get a perspective from other folks also that are getting trained.
Because when he went to that program or that training, he said, did anybody ever talk to him about PICS? He said there's just certain areas or times, like say, that you should be using them, but not like where we're using them
All the time.
all the time. No.
So maybe it'd be beneficial, because we do have 3 graders, to have straight blades on 1
Yeah,
or 2 or whatever, however we decide, and
Yeah.
then PICS on the other.
Yeah.
And then the only issue is then the guys are likely gonna be together. So I don't know, that's not a good perception from the public if 2 graders are together. But it's depending on
I
what
think it's
they're
more
doing.
efficient myself, but I mean, that's, my opinion is that at least 2 graders together is more efficient than 1 backboard. That's up, that's, he said, that's in the discussion on this table a few times too, so.
At this point in time, doing, like I say, the final pass, I think it's beneficial to have 2. And then just work it out going forward.
Well,
Let the operators figure it out going forward.
Oh, absolutely.
Until they get some experience working together, let's not upset the apple cart too much.
Well, no, agreed, because if they run all 3 together, I'd be satisfied, because each one's gonna learn something from the other. Because, I mean, if they're on separate roads, but I mean, that's also just my opinion, because how are they gonna learn if they can't see what the other guy's doing? If you gotta go back and check, and if operator number 3 is doing road 7, and the other 2 are on road 1, then how are they gonna know what they're doing together? So I think it's, and then they can mix it up where the one guy cuts and the guy covers, or whatever they do there. I'm not a grader operator, but
Yeah.
it's, I think, togetherness is the way to learn.
We've had that specific discussion, so in the interim, they're gonna be together, because Mike's basically training them, so there's no way around it.
there's no way around
So
it right
if-
now.
If, I would ask that if you are asked questions about that, that's the answer that we're giving. So we're
That'd be
giving
a
operators-
training purpose, yeah.
So moving forward, that's what's gonna happen. Like Cameron's been with us less than 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Of course, he's still learning. He's been on some easier roads in Ward 1.
Correct.
There's some worse,
Oh, yeah.
more challenging roads, of course, in other wards.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey hasn't even been in the grader yet. So it's gonna be a lengthy time to train these folks.
Yeah, I think we need
I
to
think we need to be-
stay out of the way and
We
be
need to be
patient.
patient and supportive.
Yes.
Yeah, agreed.
Best way to put it.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, moving forward,
Yes.
fire safety advertisement.
So I think the previous years in the banner, we had submitted pictures of our fire crews
Yeah.
and purchased the the business card, I believe. The half business card, I think, is just everybody's name. The business card, I believe, for $90 is both fire department's pictures and then I think I put the actual posting in there for you guys. I didn't print it because it's too much. So they had just followed up and called last week to see if we're going to actually purchase an ad, and then it's due September 22nd. So if you guys want to proceed, we did last year.
Might as well.
Need to follow course. And talking about fire safety and advertising, September 16th, I'll say this on camera, Eden Fire Hall is having a pancake breakfast on September 16th.
And I did follow up with the DAF to see what claims are closed and which are open, because some of the paperwork that I have is stating that the claim is done, but then counselors are coming and saying the claim isn't done, so I wanted to get the information straight from DAF. So I'll have to follow up again this week, because there was no response from them. We kind of had to hound them a little bit just to get it in writing that they were gonna extend us as well. So I'll call them until I get an answer.
Well, it's nice to get that extension.
Yeah.
So Kerr's Lake,
Aeration support.
yeah, the Lake Enterprises Committee, I guess, has submitted a request for a letter of support and then possibly some financial assistance as well
I think you know it's coming.
for an aeration system. So I think that they're trying to get some grant money through the Fish and Wildlife Enhancement Fund, but they're not going to apply until September, end of September, that's when it's due. So they're asking for a letter of support to include with that application, and then I think also some funding on a yearly basis to support running the aeration system.
Yeah, I never heard about this.
So this is a new endeavor?
I believe the fish are dying in the winter because there's no aeration.
Yeah.
So they wanted to put in a system.
It's gotta be 20 plus years ago. They had our aeration set up and then, never did keep up with it or whatever,
So they're asking for 500?
500 to
each
1,000.
From each of us, or
No.
total?
Total, I think.
Total, on a
I
yearly
think
basis?
from us and Clan
Us and Clown.
So that, I think there's a few Rosedale ratepayers that use that.
so what do you think of that? Yeah.
Lake, I've been there a couple times, but I never actually enjoyed the water. That's what
I'm not against it, I can tell you that, so.
So maybe 2 decisions. We support, writing a letter of support, I'm
Mhm.
assuming, and then we can decide on the
value after
The
that.
value.
Value afterwards.
If you want.
Will we do the value at the next meeting?
We could, seeing as we're not a full council. Yeah.
I think they have to submit by the end of October.
Yeah, let's table it for
End of
next
September.
meeting. When do they gotta have it?
The end of September. They
Oh,
need to,
ooh,
they'll
okay.
need to know. So I can write a letter of support, that's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah.
I would suggest not committing to a yearly, but maybe committing to this one time we will, and then they can
Exactly.
Yeah.
request every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
So, do we do this at a BLT?
Yeah.
And what figure you guys thinking, like, we got 100 per?
My problem
Or
with these
150.
requests are, we don't require these guys to do any kind of just a basic budget. This is what it's gonna be, this is what our annual costs are estimated, and we want you to cost share in it, because we don't even know what it is, right?
No.
And it could be a $200 a year maintenance, and we're helping for capital.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem, I just wish that there was more details.
Yeah.
More
Yeah,
details.
what we're doing the money for, what time is for.
Yeah.
Because I support it in principle, because I think it's tourism. Because you could have an ice fishing derby up there, you can do some stuff to reduce the stock as well, take 20 fish out, and that helps the oxygen levels as well, right? But helping these guys, like, there is money available for Fish and Wildlife, lots of people do it. There's getting some ice fishing up there in the winter just gets more activity, right? And so in principle, I like it. I just wish that there was almost like a form they have to fill out or something. And I mean,
More information, yeah.
More like, because you don't want to like burden somebody with a lot of paperwork.
So how would I suggest that we do the letter of support? And
And
then we
hold
can
on.
wait to see if they get their funding, and if they don't, then we can bring it back to council again.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea.
Is that fair? So I can put it on the agenda for next month as well, depending on the outcome?
Yeah, tell them, we'll give them a letter of support.
Okay.
And I like the idea of using VLT funds for it, because it seems like that's a great use for that kind of money.
What's recreation thing, I think it's, yeah.
Okay, I think it's why it's just for more details for next
Definitely
meeting.
more details, yeah.
Okay.
Because they just want to think about for.
Well, yeah, I know what you're getting at, and I do like that idea, yeah.
Okay, Lake Enterprise submitted a request, letter of support and a financial support pending possibility of financial support of the Fish and Wildlife Enhancement Fund. Therefore, be it resolved that the RMO Rosedale will provide a letter of support. Do I have a mover? Seconder, Dave Tedder? Sure. All in favor? Carried.
So just for clarity, Jeff, you want me to ask them if they have a budget that they have drawn up, so we know what the funds are gonna go?
And not an onerous paperwork task, but just more details,
The meat and potatoes of
the
it.
meat and potatoes.
That sounds perfect. So just correspondence on the election to all of you all, so you can review the letter. And then Land Solutions has requested access for, oh, this is next. I'll let you guys review.
Okay. information on about that.
So they're gonna be coming in, they want to utilize municipal roads.
Yeah, to access the tower.
Yeah, but is it,
Telecommunication.
is it heavy equipment and is it the construction of the tower? Like, are they gonna be like chewing up the roads and rehabbing them when they're done?
I don't assume so, so if you look at the
Yeah, I
map,
got it here, yeah.
Really?
they have where
Might as
they
well.
will access.
I can't.
Paper.
Where's that,
Where the map
There's a
is.
map assigned as well, so it's just municipal,
You
like
really
the
see
road
me?
allowance,
Yeah.
and then I believe right here, so they're adjusting the existing tower, that's how I understand.
The existing,
Yeah.
that's not the new one that's being built.
I don't
Years ago.
believe so.
Well, it's probably the big one you said.
Remember the update?
Oh, okay.
Don't take much wrong.
Does that mean they're guaranteeing us better cell service?
Well, there's the question.
I
Well,
think we need more clarity on that too, Jim.
because actually, I'm doing some whole work just south of that. And I can't use my cell phone, it's brutal.
It's getting brutal right now.
The tower's right there.
Yeah, you throw a stick in it.
Everybody's complaining, sure,
Oh,
about cell phone service, doesn't matter where you go.
Because they're asking about conditions, what our conditions are. Like,
Oh, yeah. Get some paper, Jim.
Yeah, I don't know what you did.
Yeah, they're learners.
So I'm assuming we would give them access at specific times, we'd allow them to do specific activities, have specific equipment. Have we ever done anything like this in the past?
Not to my knowledge.
Not to my knowledge, well, I haven't, I'm doing.
Those are
I guess you're the.
You're the knowledge, right?
No.
16, what is it? 1615,
It's 1616.
yeah, 16,
It's
F-16, section 15.
section 15.
That's
There's a standard right here.
Yeah, it's close to Fisher,
Oh, yeah, right
There you
there.
Right here, it's 15.
the Fisher pit.
But it's 16, 16.
16, 16, 15, west,
Oh, 50.
WP, and
So do we just simply do a blanket, if you damage it, you repair it?
16.
they must have built a new tower then.
No, this is maintenance on this one, I think this letter says, I think.
Section 16.
But I don't think there's any
It
reason to
says
be.
to the proposed telecommunication tower,
16.
so.
Oh,
assuming
it's the
they're
proposed.
Do the proposal, I think they're building one.
Like we could be getting into real equipment coming in, that's all I'm saying is
Cement
that.
trucks and all that jazz, yeah.
So it's-
Well, we could get them to sign a road,
is it beside
same as
our-
we do with our construction.
Where is it beside?
Right, that way the road's in, the street is well, it's got your.
Northwest,
Yeah.
16, 16, 15.
I was thinking it was on the other
It's
side.
just down from,
It must be right on.
down from me,
No, from here.
I would think. Because I'm 16, 16, 16.
Yeah, but
Section
16, 16.
It's
Township.
by here.
Section.
And that's the set
265,
quarter, 16, 16, 15.
It's just right here.
Section.
They're not saying what this road is.
Well, that's got a road on, so that's the PR road, guys.
That's a PR
This is
road,
a-
part of it.
Oh, yeah, here, yeah, here. Yeah, you're right, over here.
Yeah.
It's beside E.
Oh, inside E?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it says E.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're not providing a scope of work or anything.
That's right around, right, it was right around,
Just seeing if they're gonna build something.
Yeah. Because if they can sign a rural agreement, that covers our roads.
Top, wherever that MTS thing is.
Yeah. Oh, right off the town.
Yeah.
That's in that northeast section.
Northeast.
Yeah.
This
Just over the
is,
school.
this is Melissa's map, but
Northwest.
it doesn't tell you much road, numbers.
Northwest, that's beside T. Jury's, like kitty corner.
That's beside that rock pile.
Yeah, exactly.
No, he said northwest though.
Northwest, yeah, it is northwest for sure.
It'll be close to where the well is then.
Our well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another conversation.
The way I read that, but.
So we could grant them access subject to a signed conditions agreement?
I guess so, yeah.
That seems simple enough, because they can't hurt, that's a PR, we don't have any road agreement on it anyway,
No.
yet.
No, it's PR real quick.
Yeah, it's off of east.
Yeah, so better luck. We barely need to ask us.
Yeah. We do the maintenance on this.
But I guess it's, We can try the rental agreement, because I don't suppose they're gonna do that. But who knows?
Oh, I'm gonna say if required, because maybe it's not required after you get more information.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
Okay, Rogers Communication Inc. requests Thompson to utilize municipal roads and to existing approaches off government road allowance RD 88 West to access the proposed tower. Therefore be it resolved that the Arnhem of Rosedale will grant the access to Rogers Communication Inc. to access the proposed telecommunication tower, subject to a signed agreement of the conditions if required. Do I have a mover? Seconder.
Sure. The wrong, whatever.
All in favor? Carried. Sure, but
Okay, so Murray and Diane Martin's subdivision. So they're subdividing 80 acres into 2 parcels, both above the 10-acre max requirement. I don't know if you guys have had an opportunity to take a look. I did coordinate with planning on what conditions should be applied. Oh, and there's 5. So conditional use variance orders for both the parcels because they're in excess of 10 acres, so the requirement is between 2 and 10. And then that they, of course, enter into a development agreement with us, and then conditional use order.
They can make 2 subdivisions on a board. Or 10-acre parcels.
What?
This has been subdivided into 39.3 and 42.3 acres, right?
I think this is the division that is, there's a road in between the 2. It's,
Like a municipal road?
If you just a laneway.
I
The laneway,
believe,
yeah, laneway, yeah.
I am just a layman, yeah.
We've been here a few times.
The laneway exists halfway in proposed lot 1, and proposed lot 2, it will be shared.
Old language we share.
Yeah.
Okay.
so I think originally they thought they had 2 titles for the parcels, and then they discovered that they didn't. So now they're proposing to have 2 titles.
So there's just gonna be
So there's.
technically 1 subdivision on the. Because it's, I don't know if you're allowed, I don't know how that works, because I know that a family close to where I live was denied an extra subdivision because there was one on it, and it was our subdivision, Rosedale subdivision.
Okay.
So it wasn't their subdivision, but yeah, I don't know how that works, but Jeff must have his ducks in a row.
No, he must, yeah. That was just the one.
So Jeff has approved this?
Yeah, they've sent it to me.
But he specifically states this is an unusual subdivision. There were no substantial concerns raised. However, because of the sizes of them, it's unusual and may not go. That's, it's a really interesting one. The residual to the south will need a variance and it'll be smaller than the required 80 acres for an
Yeah, I see
agricultural
this
parcel.
here.
So one of the self-correcting things about, like, we're not in the big city where prime farmland gets taken out for a housing subdivision. So those kinds of concerns don't really apply here. It's like typically, like, farmland is, yeah, and it just gets gobbled up by the next guy. At least that's my feeling as a newcomer here, is that,
You're right, because the houses get bulldozed down.
yeah, it's a reverse pressure here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe they're gonna have 2 homesteads on the property,
Yeah.
under 2 rolls, and then more tax revenue.
Yes.
But variances on both lots, on the 39 acre and the 42.
So the only thing will be is that if you approve 2 unusual ones like this, the next time, like somebody closer to town, closer to equal, will buy a quarter section of prime farmland and say, well, I want.
Oh,
say,
split it, yeah.
I want some here. Yeah. And you're setting precedent.
I believe there's also 2 houses already on the properties.
Yeah.
There's one on one side and one on the other.
No, the proposed lot 2 contains barn, shed, and green beds.
Yes, on the south side.
So proposed lot 1, and we'll want to put a septic tank or septic system in on that.
So that you're definitely putting a dwelling on the second property?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Okay.
I thought Jeff told me there was already a dwelling.
Oh, yeah, proposed lot one, no, that's.
We can table it as well for next meeting, but I think that these folks already thought it was subdivided, not realizing that they didn't have 2 roles.
Yeah.
That's the
Roll
way I read it.
numbers,
They
right?
already thought they had 2
Yeah.
titles to
There's
it.
a mistake.
Miscommunication someplace along the line.
Applicant has indicated they will be installing a septic field on the second lot too, so must be put some sort of dwelling in here, if that's the case.
Yeah, and it's for family reasons, so
Yeah.
somebody just wants more space for their growing family.
Yeah, maybe grandma or grandpa. I honestly don't see a problem, it will set a precedent. Maybe a revisit or 2 for some other ones that were applied before.
And that's the problem, like you start individual decisions, right?
Yeah. Because there's no harm in it, except the precedent.
Yeah. And it'll really come into play, I think, when Nebo grows to 10,000 people, because they're already starting to find, like in that, in the minutes of that meeting, like Highway 16 being redeveloped, they're having some issues, like some of the existing businesses aren't zoned for what the new plan is gonna be. So it's, then there's gonna be things like going north on Highway 5. Like there's gonna be
A swell.
residential pressure on farmland there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like the tile drainage for substandard land, so you can make nice residential. That's one thing, right? But now you're taking somebody's prime farmland and making it residential. Someone's gonna get 2 generations from now are going to be annoyed. Or will they? Or does it matter?
But and you don't want to be in the way of progress either, that's the problem with that, some of that's within reason. But you're gonna have to live here someplace.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So in principle, like, I can't see that, like, I would be opposed in principle, just to get out of the road, people are trying to have, manage their own lives on land they already own
Yes.
for their own purposes.
I agree.
But is there a gotcha in there that I'm not familiar with farm families when it passes?
There always is, but I mean, it's slow letting things go, I mean, decisions to be made. Because from the Rosedale side, it'll be more tax dollar for us, to get 2 separate, from 1 dwelling to 2 dwellings, that's a help, so. That's the big picture. No extra maintenance for us, we're still pushing the road open anyways.
So do we all follow through and let her happen, or?
I'll make the motion, we accept it.
Well, I can't see it myself, really, not too serious about it, but like you said, set a precedent, so that's the only thing.
Just have to have a reason to deny the next one.
Right.
Like, it'd have to be like something different then, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're basically saying everyone should be able to do this now.
Well, they're big parcels, that'll be a separation, because there's 40, almost 40 acres per parcel, or one is more than, but I mean, that's a pretty big, nobody's gonna subdivide off 40 acres to sell the 3rd subdivision, if that makes sense, right? So to speak, right, they're doing this for a different reason.
It's only 80 acre parcel, right? That's what we're saying.
If you're cutting an 80 acre in half,
Cut it an 8 acre and a half.
They only have 80.
so it's unique all the way through.
Yeah, so it'll be 40, 40, basically.
Yeah.
It's not quite, but
Yeah.
But they did do a 40 on the Rieski's when they took that off that quarter, right? Or 80. Joe did no one on quarter there, I don't think, just, you know what?
And these folks just got water too, right? That's the same folks that just got water put in?
Yeah.
The Martins?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right too, yeah, they did.
Yeah, that was here just now.
We approved that, that was only a couple meetings ago, or a meeting ago.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And this is the one problem I have too sometimes with these things, right, is, because that's how I would approach it. I'm gonna get this bite-sized piece approved, and then I'll get this next piece approved, and then a year later I'll get this one, and just have a 10-year plan. And then you could not work the system, but you can go on a path.
Yeah, well, it's all costs money, you do it at a level, right?
Yeah.
Budgeted along, it's,
And each individual decision makes sense, taken in isolation on its merits. right?
yeah.
But if you look at the overall development plan, maybe it doesn't. Because now the 40 will get subdivided into 20s, and then the 20 will get subdivided into 10s. And then you can't farm anything, right? It's not big enough anymore.
That also has to go through all the planning divisions,
Exactly.
right? So
Yeah.
it's not like, by the time it gets to us, it's went through all of the due diligence.
The processing, yeah.
Yeah, because it's had to gone through the province and,
Mhm.
And they had no concerns.
yeah, so.
We should have to say first, not the last.
It's
Wow.
interesting, isn't it?
True, great, true, that's the way it's working, but, so, yeah, once it's already, the ball's rolling, what are we supposed to do?
Well, but no, this way, they send it all out to everyone, so that way you can make an informed decision locally. That there isn't something, like, that way you're not a subject matter of wildlife or something like that, right? So all those guys say, I don't care. And then you can decide based on what's best for us. It's just a whole bunch of expert opinions get weighing in before we make a decision. Because I don't want to stand in the way of housing
No,
and population growth.
In Rosedale. Agreed. But I'll let my motion stand, I'll put my name on the top of that one. You need a second, or no?
yeah.
There's your second right there. Now we can vote.
Whereas proposal subdivision request by Marie and D. Martin on E06-15-15 West was presented to council on Friday, September the 8th, 2023. Therefore, be it resolved that the council of the RM of Rosedale has reviewed and approves the subsection proposed by Marie and D. Diane Martin on E06-15-15-W, providing that the council use order to obtain from the non-farming dwelling used in the Ag-L1 zone for proposal of Lot 1, that the variance order be obtained, increasing the maximum size area for proposed Lot 1 from 10 acres to 39.30 acres in the AG-L1 zone for proposal of Lot 1. Thirdly, that the variance order obtained desiring the maximum size parcel from 80 to 82.31 acres in the AG-L1 zone for residential. For the owner applicant enter into a development agreement with the RM of Rosedale. Number 5, that council uses order grant for the residential parcel allowed for the rural non-farming dwelling. Do I have a mover? Or seconder? Joe. All in favor? Carried.
This is instead of, I don't know if this is, you know,
We'll have to look at it. Can we look at it after?
yeah, sure, yeah, no worries, I just, okay. That and a couple other things here, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Subdivision, Bray Farms.
So this is also unique. So Braze did subdivide. Now they want to put the division all back together and re-subdivide on different lines, is the way I understand this. existing subdivision. So I believe on the map, it shows the current and then the new proposed lots.
Yours. Mike doesn't
I
want
get a map here.
Mike doesn't want to open it.
Yeah. Let me look at the map here.
Where's the?
Where's the, I don't know, I'm looking for the map.
Oh, sorry, I don't know which attachment. It'll be a big attachment and then it will be at the bottom.
Oh, there she is.
There she is.
Oh, sorry.
Hey.
Oh, sorry.
Throwing stuff at me.
Let's see if we can get this up there. Easy, yeah, easy. Okay, so
This
there's.
is the bottom one?
This will be that,
On the highway.
I believe it's like this right now.
9, 16, 15.
that'll be that.
Is that right on the paper?
Word off 471.
That'll be,
After,
that'll be, is that not, what you call it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's right off the number 5 highway.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's, Floyd Gold's mom's place.
McNabb's. old place.
McNabb's, yeah.
So I believe the existing lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Is this
yeah, cause they,
red,
yeah,
and then they want to do that smaller.
this smaller piece in here, to bring it up by the dwelling there.
right. So the spotted line is the new.
I don't know, that's the cook.
3.7.
Cook's.
Oh, that's Cook's.
Cook's, yeah.
It is, oh,
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, it's Cook's.
I just,
Actually, subdivision makes more sense to me now than it did.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna get my way, so.
So they want the proposed lot here. So those granaries and all that, they want to take that out?
Come in the subdivision.
Yeah.
Also, that way they have a working yard and then a residential yard, right? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because even the approach won't affect us because it comes off highway, so if we got a white, they'll have to deal with highways.
exactly, that's definitely Cook's old place.
Yeah, it is.
Bruce's place.
That's where Bruce is.
Where Bruce used to live. Straight west of the cannon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of the cannon.
No, I don't see anything wrong with
So it's
that.
like a 3-step process for them, like,
Yeah.
all one, put it back again.
Yeah.
No, it's,
And it's still 10 acres.
yeah.
It'll be reduced to 3.7 acres.
Can they do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, between 2 and 10.
Oh, 2 and, it's 2 and 2. So it's 3 between 2 and 10? It's been a long day.
Yes, it is.
So they're gonna use the same approach, correct?
Yeah, so if they have to do, and like Earl said, they have to widen and whatever, I'll take that up with the highway stuff.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, whereas proposed subdivision request by Bray Farms Limited on Southwest 09-16-15-West was presented to council Friday, September the 8th, 2023. Now there be it resolved that the council of the RN of Rosedale has reviewed and approves the subdivision proposal by Bray's Limited on Southwest 09-16-15-West, providing that the conditions used order to obtain for the residential dwelling to ensure compliance with zone bylaw. The owner and applicant enter into a development agreement with the RM of Rosedale
Shut it off, restart.
that the variance order be obtained to reduce the step back for the requirements of 125 feet to the proposal, 103 feet for the Quonset. Do we have a mover?
Oh, that's Dave Turner.
Second?
Jackson. All in favor? Carried.
Okay, so Mr. Aaron Rosenkratz has approached the planning division to understand what needs to take place. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry about that.
Just wait for Carl to come back. If you guys want to review the photos that were provided, and then also there is a policy that was provided by the Equal Area and Planning Division as well.
It was a good year.
Where should I sit?
Don't matter.
You want me to sit?
Sure, you see here. We'll have to see here.
Oh, makes me there, yeah.
Stuff on your room.
No.
Okay.
Is it okay if I introduce you? Or introduce you to what I wanted? So because I have a vested interest in Franklin,
Right.
and there's some activity going on in there, with the policy that we have, and we haven't had a chance to change it yet, I just thought that if you could explain again a bit more about why you think we should be selling the lots the way we are, just to summarize it again. And also what the advantages are to like amalgamating some and selling them, and what the potential is of selling the remaining vacant lots in Franklin. And that's the kind of questions that I want. I know I want you to do a presentation, but I also wanted to not sandbag you with questions. I just wanted to like ask in open council a bunch of stuff that we had talked about on the phone. And also I wanted to give a bit of information about some of the issues that I've had dealing with a different municipality about the lack of transparency and how it's been in the behind. And so I'm sorry for sandbagging you.
No, that's not.
Okay, so I'm Rosemary Parrott. I've been selling Franklin lately, it seems, and it all started with one house, and then people are interested because it's like a reasonably priced house. And it has sold. And the people are looking to be able to put in a septic tank and field. I think we had discussed that before. So they wanted to add enough lots to it to make the 2 acres so that they were able to do that. Otherwise, they'd have to have a holding tank. So, so that's why I guess that we need to be able to put things together. But also, for instance, the way that you have it worded, if I understand, if you sell any back lots, then you have been saying you have to build on within a first year, but if you sell any back lots, I don't think you want people building on unless you want to start building roads. So perhaps the back lots you just need to discuss what you want to do with that for the lots that the municipality owns. And there are still people looking for land. I just sold 2 more lots here. They were privately owned, so these ones, as far as I understand, aren't under the same conditions when they're sold, right? Because they're being sold by a private,
Yeah.
by somebody who's owned them for 40 years or whatever it is,
Yeah.
right? So, just looking to see if we can change up. I think we discussed this last time,
Yeah.
right? Just change things up so that it enables people to have septic tanks. So in Franklin, just about everybody has a septic tank and field. But they're doing it on a small lot. Now there are new rules, so that can't be grandfathered in. Now they have to have, so instead of having, okay, so this is kind of small, but there's somebody here that owns 2 little lots there, and they have septic tank and field, for instance. And then, but over here, you're gonna have to own all of this before you can put in a tank and field. Otherwise, you're stuck with a holding tank that all of your liquid and solids go into, and you have to call to get it emptied. So do you have any questions about that?
I have a question.
Okay.
So if somebody is buying, like, to me it wouldn't matter, so as a real estate agent, like, if somebody is buying that lot and they had to put in a holding tank, is that gonna wreck a sale? Or is there some demand for residential lots and that part is just simply a cost?
That, for a lot of people, that's a big deterrent in buying that land, because they have to have the 2 acres, and if they can't buy it, then they're not, you know, I've got somebody else waiting too that also wanted to, they didn't want to buy the house, but they wanted to buy 2 acres in Franklin, and I don't even know if there's anything left that they can get 2 acres out of. So, unless they buy from somebody else. But, yeah, they would like to have more land. There are other people too that are expressing that they want to put on more than one house, which I think would suit you fine, but then I've told them, well, then you know, there's no way you're gonna have enough land, you're not gonna have 4 acres, you're gonna have to put in a holding tank if you want 2 houses on this. So,
How many back lots do we own?
well, these ones, so you own these 5 back here, but they're all on one title. So that's already amalgamated together. Then you own also 9 and 10. So these people are asking to buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, and 10. Ron Parrott owns 8, he's willing to sell, and then they just bought 6 and 7. So that way, if my math is correct, then they will have 2.04 acres.
And then they would be, if they can buy that from the RRM, they'd be willing to consolidate titles on their cost. They would buy individual titles and consolidate.
Well, so the guy that had a conditional sale before, he asked for an extension and didn't get it.
Okay.
Now somebody else has actually come up to the plate, and I have no idea what they're gonna do. They are full of ideas, and they have not decided yet exactly where they will go with it. If they don't put another building on here, they will go with tank and field. If they could put 2 buildings on here, they would go with tank and field, but they can't, right? So I've just told them they're different options, and they're just starting out with this and hoping to put in a tank and field, and then, but if they decide to put another building on, they know they can't put that. Unless they would just buy another lot and stick a building on it. But these lots down here are very undesirable. So there is some hay in here right now, but there is a waterway that comes through here. It is plenty far enough away from the 2 acres for what the rules are. So that's okay for there, but as far as front lots, I think you'd have a hard time selling your 9 and 10 because it's getting a bit low down there. This is higher and this is going down low, and then you get to where the water runs down here. So to have somebody, yeah, I've got somebody too that just wants to buy one of these lots and all of these back lots just so they can get there, but they want to build on the back lot. But I said to them, well, you got to think about your hydro cost. And so they would want a front lot so they could access and get in like that. So there's just lots of different scenarios going on. These 3 lots that are in one title have sold. But the funny thing is down here, so there's 3rd Street, which doesn't exist per se, and then down here is a lot that is available. I haven't looked at what all lots you have right now.
And I apologize because I have a color-coded map that Colleen did for me. I just found it right in. Can I run it again? Okay.
I can say, I know that you have lots 6 and 7.
Sure.
Yeah, so you've got lot 6 and 7. I have somebody interested in buying that in the back. They already own property though on the front. So they own here, and they bought 8 and 9. And they want to buy the land, actually these 4 lots behind them, which I think are in 2 titles, if I remember correctly. And then, because then they'll just have all of that, but they certainly won't be putting houses on them, right? Because they're in the back. So, and they already have their tank and field, so they're set, even though they only have 2 front lots. Yeah. So most of these, I think you also have 2 lots right before 2nd Street here. Well, 2 lots in the front, 2 on the back. Somebody has recently bought all the rest of the lots on that, and they have expressed interest in buying those 4 lots too.
So my only comment is the policy has to meet the RM's needs, not just Franklin. So what is the direction council wants to go? Are we looking for development, or are we just looking to supply lots to folks for fields? Because ideally, we could promote Franklin and have all those lots built on
Right.
and have tanks put on them, and then have ratepayers on those properties. I understand fields and tanks are more convenient.
Right, sorry, you said have repairs on those properties?
We could sell the lots individually and still require folks to build on the lots.
Right,
Then you'd have to have tanks only.
And they have to have
And you have to have
tanks.
tanks only.
right.
Because we're talking about gaining, by joining all those together, we're not gaining ratepayers, you're just giving ratepayers who exist more acres or more footage.
And then applying the policy to Bernie and Eden and Kelwood and Riding Mountain as well. This is one scenario in one town, and
It just depends, I guess, what you're wanting to do. Some of the lots aren't that saleable, others are. And as far as back lots go, I think that was the main issue, is talking about the back lots, because if somebody buys that thinking they're gonna build, because you have the rule that they have to build, and then you say, well, I'm not giving you any access to those lots, then that's a problem. So then you'll probably deny their building permit, and they've bought the land with the condition that they have to build on it, and so that becomes a problem. And not all the other towns are like that. You have maybe the road infrastructure already set up where you have lots. But here, I mean, there was a Blair Street back here. If you look on Google Maps, they'll say back here,
it's still there.
they'll say that this is Blair Street, you know, on some of the maps, but it's not. Blair Street's back here. Yeah. Oh, sorry, this is why I was making fun of him on the wrong side there. Blair
Where's the
Street.
west side?
Yeah, you can see by the railway, you see a little bit of a build-up approach to where they used to
Yeah,
be.
you can see where they're at, just. Really written where.
Yeah, it says Blair right clearly on this one,
It is.
so,
On this one here, it's this section here, where Bruce had pointed out to me a month ago that he and Dennis Banquet had planted some native grasses in there, because they figured nothing was ever gonna happen, so there's just a little bit of swamp in that drainage that.
yeah, that
was
it
not-
goes through
And
there.
then they actually killed it, and then put in native grass seeds in this section. So he asked me to, no, he told me, just so I was aware that that was a project. And back in here.
So then the post office is where?
It's across the street, it's over there.
Oh, okay, I'm reading that wrong. Okay, gotcha.
Yes, there's the freshman hall.
Yeah.
Big spruce tree.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, and the big spruce tree is in that 3 lot.
Yeah, unless they don't want to sold the whole tree.
As far as I understand, just very.
And then this section here is where Harvey Flaker from the post office, they had tried to establish a tree line in here to stop some of the snow from plugging up this road. And these trees didn't take, and he had put in a work request saying that's where he wanted it built up. But because of how the summer went, it just died on the vine. But this back in here, he was talking about just getting something done in there to get the trees back up so they'll live. And like the second time. But one of the things that I was thinking, because we've talked about like cutting grass and grass fires and whatnot, but also people who own this, they're starting to start putting in their own little shelter bulbs back over here. And then I think that the more trees that are back here, the more vested interest people have in maintaining it.
Yeah, they'll have
There'll be
to-
less snow removal here.
They would have to put them on the back of their lot, though not.
It's gonna have to be way over here, right? But,
That would actually be French field.
well, that's where they're planning now, I thought.
I think it's right next to Blair Street, they said, but I just wondered if it was,
Maybe it was right on Blair Street that they planted the trees?
well, I've heard different things. I've heard they planted them on Blair Street and on one side of Blair Street. So, because there is, as I understand, the road allowance is 50 feet. Apparently, there's a really old map that says 60 feet. So I don't know which one is correct, but for the highway, we've been measuring back 25 feet to find the front of the lots from the center.
And one of the things that I also wanted to talk about, just speaking, just thinking for information, is like, for example, this block of 4 is whether there's an advantage to saying, we'll sell those as 4, but one transaction. You can't, if we list things for sale, then you have to buy all 4, not somebody will high grade the front lots and leave the 2 orphaned in the back to never be developed. Or 2 separate long, deep lots, I should say, so that the back lots aren't orphaned. Great. So if somebody wants to purchase this individual lot, they have to get that one, or they can choose to
Yeah,
buy
if you
all
do front
4.
and back,
Yeah.
if you say if you're gonna buy front, you buy back as well.
So while you were photocopying, I just wanted everybody to be mindful that the policy has to apply to all of the towns.
Yeah, I know.
So these special case scenarios that we're discussing are going to be impossible to write into a policy.
Unless we can divide it, so then that's why I wanted to have a conversation, unless we can divide it so that this is what happens here, and then the LUD has this rule, and this LUD has that rule, right?
And then I'm wondering also, what does council want? Are you looking to revitalize Franklin? Or are we just looking to not take care of the current RM property that we own?
And I have,
Well, and it hasn't been taken care of, and I think it's MTS owns this, and it's never broken, there are trees coming up like crazy in there. So there, and then there's another lot back here, I don't know who, I don't remember who owns it, I took a picture of it on my phone. There's somebody that owns that too, and of course, it's not being cared for. And your lots next to Second Street, lot 1, 2, and 11, 12, they're just growing wild with grass. Nobody's cutting down. But, you know, the fellow that bought these 8 lots at the other end, he's got that all mowed. The people that are buying 8 and 9, they got a little eager, they were already mowing some of it, all the front part, but now they've gone out and really diligently tried to cut more. So it is becoming safer as far as wildfires, and we did have a train fire in Franklin a couple months ago. And so it was actually my son-in-law that owned that house there that would have gone up in smoke, but my husband had cut the CPR property, and he had cut this all along up to lot 4 through 7. Well, a little further back, but it was all cut down. We had some trees that burned a bit in there, but it couldn't make it up to the houses or to the house on this side of the tracks, because it was all mowed, thankfully. Otherwise, it would have been gone with the way the wind was blowing and everything.
so, one of the things that happened up in Flint was there was some
non-transparent real estate transactions that occurred. And there were some vacant properties. And what would happen was somebody would come in and ask to, there's a policy in Footlawn. We want to get these vacant lots lived in, the vacant homes or the derelict homes lived in. But it was very happenstance. If somebody came in and said, I would like that one for $1. If the conversation was friendly, the person got that one for $1. And if somebody else came in and said, I would like that lot for $1, or I would like this one for $1, if there was any tension, then no, you don't get to have it. And the policy was very much, would we have a beer together? Then you can have it. And that's the one thing that I'm a little bit worried about with if we don't have a transparency thing for this, is that if you don't advertise what the lots are, if you don't say this is what they're worth, and this is who can buy them, and this is how, like the decision tree. If you just want a vacant lot, then that's not a priority. But if you want to consolidate, that's a higher priority. If you want to build, that's a higher one. Yeah. So if the lot is worth $1,000, the person that's going to build a house on it should get it. Well, unless you have here's our land bank. This is the value is 1.5 times or whatever everybody agrees on the assessed value. And then first come first serve. But then it's first come first serve after an advertising period. And there was another example again up in Flin Flon where there's a 27 unit derelict hotel. It was scheduled for demolition. Somebody came along randomly and says, I'd sure like to save that building. Can I have it? And sure. But that person just came along randomly at the random right time and got a random sure. And that to me is kind of that's a weird way to run a town, right? Like it just seems that everything should be way more open, way more transparent. The other thing that happened, just as a personal insight, it's just an anecdote, and I realize that, but my daughter was trying to buy a lot in Clearwater Lake, or on Clearwater Lake, so it was owned by the town of the Pod. There's one lot left. The town of the Pod gave it to the Economic Development Committee, and they were going to auction it off. So they had an auction process. Everybody can bid until this day, at this time. So my daughter was bidding, and then she got an email back saying, there's 3 people that are interested in bidding. We're going to keep the auction open. So everybody that has submitted bids can still continue to be in the process, but nobody new can come in now. So you have until Monday morning to email your bid. So my daughter emailed the bid, and on Monday morning she said, okay, well the current bid is this, do you want to top it? And then on Wednesday, the 2 people that were remaining were told, okay, we're going to change the rules a 3rd time. Now it's this. And it went from a fun, oh, I might get a lot, to I'm now angry because it appears that the wrong person is bidding high and the right person wants the lot. And there's a perception, not a reality, but a perception of conflict of interest, and also what are the rules? And it was a really sour taste, and like she was a bit bitter about it. So she just dropped out at the end. Once the rules changed the 4th time, is that you have now change to sealed bid this date, and that's it, no more. And that's an extreme example, and that wasn't the town doing it, that was the economic development, so they have a little bit of leeway there, and they wanted to make as much money as they could off the lot. I get that, but it was also not fair, open, transparent, and accountable. And I'm worried about how our policy, how do you write it, because I agree, how do you do 6 different policies, right?
So currently the policy is for land that is posted for sale and land that isn't posted for sale, so there's different streams.
Yeah.
And
And
then
I would
there's a
like
tendering
all of the
process.
land posted for sale. That's my personal preference. I think we should assign values to all vacant land and just list, that's kind of where I land.
I think this is a situation that's gonna take some very deep thinking, and it's not gonna happen just overnight. It's something we should almost set aside a meeting to develop it. As a priority later on, we have other priorities at this point in time to deal with it. Something we should be looking at because it's come up and come up and come up and everything, so I think we need to relook at it and the whole that's gonna satisfy the whole of our end, if you wanna call it.
I have a suggestion, just when you were talking about the 6 different towns, and how you could have a blanket policy that would be, that would maybe fit, if I'm on the right track, is just to say that if there are lots that are presently inaccessible, that would be an exception, you know, but any accessible lot that's accessible by road. If you don't want to build roads, if you want to build roads, great, you know, that's fine. But
There's a lot of lots on that backside.
There is a lot of lots.
That's
It
a
used to
lot
be
of
a
income for that.
booming little towns,
Yeah.
and that's the other thing, right? It could boom again if you pushed it.
And everybody's looking for space right now. Like, they're building all over the place in Equal. There's no lots, there's no houses.
yeah, I think there will be again on that gray land. They've got quite a development planned, right? But right now, they've built, I think, on all the lots that were available.
What kind of water is in Frank? Town water or like municipal water or
There's-
well water or both?
These guys are connected to the municipal water down here at the Western Canadian area.
Okay.
So they have a well in their office building and then a water line, a municipal water line that connects
Yeah.
their new office and used to be their
Okay.
complex.
Yeah.
And
So-
this guy over here too, that lives on this lot, he
Yeah.
has, yeah, he's got
Municipal
water, I've been told. The Franklin
And that's
Hall
where Cypress went
is
for-
on well water, but they don't use all that much. There is water, so there's water on the north end of town that is from, it's from Wet Langford, I guess. And then there's also water on the south side as it goes over and then runs up one of the roads, because we have deep well water on our farm.
Okay,
And,
so 96 is water going right on.
yeah, that, Jack Boski's had it
Jack Boski's
too.
had it.
And, Bowman's
Bowman's.
had it.
To the south, there's like, packages, there's water, the wetlands, a little ways away.
Yeah, and I'm on that one as well.
And you're on, yeah, that's right, you're across from it.
Yeah, so that's, I think we probably get from the south, because we're,
Great.
this is north.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're over here,
yeah,
so,
it'll be the Langford line, yeah.
Approximately how far is Franklin from the city of Eagle or town?
13 kilometers.
13 kilometers.
So it could be attractive for expansion, right?
Yes. Very, because it's halfway between Minnedosa and Equal, it's close to Brandon. You're like kind of in the hub, right? It could be very attractive to people.
So water is there, it's just the sewer side of it.
Yeah.
well, the sewer side is a problem. And so maybe eventually, if there were enough places put in, maybe they would have a sewer system. But in the meantime, when people are looking at buying and have that uncertainty,
And
then,
also eventually the guys that are grandfathered in with their systems, as soon as they have to upgrade,
They're not allowed.
they're going to a tank now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be, yeah.
I thought that you're allowed one repair or something like that, are you?
It depends
On
on
your
what
system?
the issue is, I'm assuming, for your system.
It'd be weird.
Well, I agree, there's a lot of thinking to do about this because it all depends which way we want to go, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And, yeah, I mean, these lots could be beneficial to the RM totally. If it does boom again, we might have to build a road or whatever. But then again, like you said, you could get rid of some of this now if they could make it into a 2-acre park, right?
But if you do that for here.
I know, then you gotta
Keeps
do
going.
Eden.
Keeps going
Cowwood.
on. So
Yeah.
opens up a bigger can of worms.
Yeah.
And it also, I still say that right around Equal, it opens up some issues right around Equal, with people that have farmland there that might want to make a housing subdivision on in the RM side, which would be great, but will be some complications.
Yeah, I think they're pretty, if it involves farmland, just our experiences with asking about subdivisions, they really are trying to protect all the farmland they can.
Yeah.
This time.
Okay, well, we'll have to give this some, make like, I think we should go to Dave's road. Just set up a meeting for this, so we're
And
gonna
it's
let there and
busy
bundle
time,
down,
I
I
guess,
guess.
you know, this, I'm not trying to push the envelope.
No, I'm not either.
But you can't make a hasty decision, just all of a sudden bang, need to give us some.
And how we're gonna write this in.
Yeah, and I also think it has to be part, like, I think we need to start a strategic plan of, like, a long-term,
Yeah.
medium, or short-term strategic plan, because this is a part of it, not a separate.
Yeah, well, I agree.
Which I realize doesn't help you at all in the short term. You
Well-
realize that, which is why I
Well, you know, I think I have always been upfront with all the people about what they are buying. And
Mhm.
so that's why the one guy ended up out of it because he couldn't get an answer in time and he asked for the extension and the guy said, no, I've got other people that already had offers that said, we're gonna offer if this falls apart.
Right.
So I told him that, you've got tentatively some offers, and there were two, and it turned into, they both, so it turned out good for the seller.
Good.
But then we also have, Ron needs to decide, I guess, what he'll do with his land, and I imagine he'll just sell it because, to the people who are wanting it, but then they'll just have the front ones. Well, the other thing I wanted to bring up, which is, which I mentioned before, but on lots 4 and 5, there are 2 buildings that are crossing the line. So they are, they haven't, you know, I don't know if these people would ask for an easement, but I know I have one gal interested in buying back here, and she says, oh, it wouldn't bother me, I don't care if their buildings come onto the land, so that, if they're encroaching on lot 4 and 5. And those buildings were built before those lines were drawn, I believe, right? But it just didn't fit where they were. And we have the same problem with the barn that's over in here. There's a barn and another building that are just there,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody's using them. But,
The barn is the one just on the other side of the tracks, like, just, where's the barn?
yeah,
So
it's,
the tracks.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's where
Oh. Okay.
Dennis sold, and I haven't looked up to see which lots he sold there, but he has a barn which probably just runs, it looks like it's on Blair Street if you look at the map, but it's been there forever, so it's probably not quite on Blair Street, probably right before it. And so he's just storing stuff in there. But, I mean, it's his land, I guess he can do that. Or else it's her land, if he sold that to her and she's let him do that. Either way, but there are a few odd little buildings and fences running around different places and things like that. So, anyways, any other questions or?
No, I don't think so. Thanks for coming in and
You're welcome.
this, yeah, well, like I said, we'll have to sit down and just gotta have some serious consideration for sure.
Okay, well, good. Well, the discussions go well. Okay,
Thank you. Thank you.
thank you, see you later.
What do you guys want to do, break for dinner?
Yeah, I think so.
As we got
A couple more minutes.
Boundary Road, what else we got?
The subdivision.
Subdivision.
Mobile home.
Mobile home.
Should we do the mobile home before election?
I say, let them do the mobile home.
In the mobile home.
Oh, I say we approve it, then we go for it.
Oh.
It'll be quicker when you're hungry.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. So we're done and raised, right? So no, the mobile home was next one. So is there any issues? There was nothing with the district planning board against that, was there? With the mobile home?
So the motion is not approving to move it immediately, the motion is to approve an application to begin.
All right, okay.
And it's because of the age of the home, and it was basically to prevent people from bringing in garbage, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had prepared 2, so if an hour or 2 said yes, what have you, whatever you guys like. So therefore, it would be resolved that Arnold Rosedale approves the application process, proceed, and conditions if applicable be determined based on the application. So if we want to apply conditions, then you guys could determine that at that point.
Okay.
Or else it's not approved. So they're,
We can put the conditions on later, is that what you said?
that's how I thought
This
it
is just
was.
beginning the process, just getting the.
This is just to recommend, or, yeah, to start the application.
It was easier than I thought.
Because really, the only information that was received was the email and the photos. But my understanding is there's probably more documentation required
I would imagine.
to give to planning, and then that application could be reviewed by council.
And you said that you brought it up, the LUD, and
Yeah, and he, actually, I spoke to him at the parade, or the day of the fair, whatever, I personally spoke to him, and he's just, his plan is to move out of the north, grow his family in Kelwood.
Oh, yeah.
And just want, this is the home he has in his budget, I'll say. So, yes, he seems, and he actually went to school with my sons, good guy, good families. Good young family.
and I'm not opposed to anybody bringing in like a stamped certified 200 hour service modular home.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's although people dress them up and whatnot, but it's the 1960s no northern package 100 amp services ones that are a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
But these ones are fine.
That'll do it.
Okay, proposal received to move a mobile home built in the 1982 by Manufacturing Conquest Manufacturer Limited into the village of Kelwood. Therefore be resolved that the RM Rosedale approves the application process to proceed and to conditions, if applicable, will be determined based on the application. Do I have a mover? Seconder? All in favor? Carried. And we will break for dinner. Okay, Boundary Road 84, requests personal quotes. So, what proposals, I should say, quotes?
So each one of these four is a proposal?
Yes, sir. So Jeff made up a little rubric here with all of the quotes in the spreadsheet for each contractor.
Okay, we can probably cut the list in half. to Start with.
You want to get rid of the rental one and the, okay, just checking.
The one and the two, I think.
Yeah.
One or two? A's?
One for sure.
Okay, that's easy, then I'll only read that one.
It's very high.
Yeah, the one and the two, I think, can go on, and then we'll go from there.
It's pretty high.
Yeah, that's just my suggestion.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, we have to use the system correctly, we have to pick the one that's.
So we're on proposal 3 and 4.
Yeah.
There you go.
This one, there were two of them from somebody. Oh, it was, who was it?
Parker,
Oh,
60 something.
So the one,
60 something?
Yeah.
the one follow-up question I had, because it wasn't in the tender, but the cost engineer one said they were going to remove the existing culverts and haul away, and then cut the culvert beds and grade as per site. And then place and compact left of A-based culvert beds. So that's the cost engineer quote specifies that, and the rental one doesn't. And that wasn't in the tender, so that might be an actual difference.
That's it, when you look at the rental, it says supply and replace
This here?
culverts, that's specified.
Yeah.
So they just put it all in writing, but, you know, they gotta go by the, whatever's on their tender. right?
Yeah.
And we didn't specify a haul away.
That, you mentioned with me before, about Viber pack. Yes and no, especially on, that's gonna bring water up, and I'm not gonna say it's gonna bring it through that wheel, but you don't use the vibrate on, maybe the top layer, yes. I don't know exactly what thickness it should be before you vibrate pack it, but you definitely do not pack on wet ground, because it would just bring that moisture up.
Okay.
Here. And at least you're hopefully just rolling it. It's never really rolling till we got to the hike. I don't know what depth it was. Well, we put in probably 3 feet, so we packed the last lift about a foot. So just being, but that's something that's gonna really, we can tell them we'll pack it, I guess, or minimum.
And is our rental and caution truck, are they both equal? Like, do they both have the equipment? Like, are they comparable in terms of being able to do the job? Like,
I would suspect.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Rebel did the one in Caliber last, Ward 6 about 4 years, 5 years ago, he did the one there for us.
Yeah.
So he's very capable. I've never worked with EK, so I guess I won't speak.
And Parkway's right now.
Here, yes.
Yeah, I just said it's, yeah.
And I realize that they're significantly higher, but do they have everything? Like, they're capable of the job?
Yeah, they got, there's trucks and hoses
They got
there. I can't
trucks and
answer that
all
question
that.
honestly either, so, but you assume that, I guess, which is not fair
Yeah.
to do, right? It's-
But they're significantly higher too.
Significant.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say we're down to 2, and
Yeah.
I guess I'd like our CEO to chime in a little bit.
Well, we already had the discussion about my frugalness.
But assuming what the question Jeff just asked, the answer is yes, the decision is pretty easy, because with the tender system, we have to choose
Yeah.
the lesser of the quotes, and that's,
Yeah.
and it's quite a bit lesser.
Yeah, like we went with, like, when we were doing pressure treated lumber for the posts. We went through the slightly higher one because it was local and delivery. and-
Right.
And actually cheaper because they delivered.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to
Yeah.
arrange delivery.
Yeah.
Delivery was, yeah. the-
Pay our guys to do it.
Married.
And I talked to Ernie this morning, and I'll just speak on his behalf, because he said he wants to get the cost check quote, so he wants to give them some jobs. But he said it's a pretty big difference
Yeah.
in the price, so.
No, I'm going to keep it local, at least these guys are both local, which is cool. It's,
And one's taxes in and one's taxes out as well. The higher one is taxes out.
The Rumpel one had the difference there, like, or one of the neat parts was you put PSD on supplies,
Yep.
and nobody else did.
They just have plus taxes on EKs.
I always look at the price minus the taxes.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
taxes are taxes, right? You gotta look at the base prices.
Yeah.
That's my take on life, but
good, yeah, the tax, not the.
the tax you're gonna pay whatever it is, so it's the base amount.
And then, so yeah, so it's 137 versus 166.5.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm pretty, guarantee both contractors do a great job.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's not a concern.
That's not a concern.
Okay. Yeah.
So I guess then the next step, then we pass whatever the resolution, and then we have to present this to Langford, correct? And then they sign off on it, correct?
That's how I believe it works, yep. So as soon as you guys decide today, I'll send it over to her, and they have the meeting on Monday.
So that's quick.
Yeah, and that's great, because then the tender can go to the contractor choice, and then, hey, they can get going on it, and then that gives them a bigger window of opportunity to get the project completed.
Because it's due November 5th, it has to be
Yeah,
completed by, I believe.
And there'll be penalties in place if they go over?
I would assume so. And this is my first tender process, so we'll see how that all works out with
Yeah.
writing a contract and awarding it and all that sort of stuff.
Because there was penalties in place for the previous ones, but
Never enforced.
never enforced.
Sharpen things up.
What if we do it again?
Oh,
To see.
which one do you want there?
I went 3. 3 is what you wanted to route.
One, yeah, because there's
Yeah.
twice, almost,
Yeah.
small, so it's almost twice as much.
Just 3 brothers.
That's almost hard to believe how different that can be from the original quote.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, as good or better job, honestly. Yeah, it's,
And local.
and local, yeah.
Well, there is a quote and a gravel also.
Sorry?
There is no one that.
Two, yeah, specialty gravel, but if we had that in the cost, you're only adding $350 more dollars
That's
per
another
yard.
big dollars coming
There's a
in.
gravel get from.
Brandon or whatever, yeah.
Yeah. It was like
60,000 for the gravel, or 80,000?
80.
yeah.
You put that on the shaft.
Yeah, either, yeah.
Has anybody done a life study of, like, what's the expected lifespan of all these gravel pits and whatnot? Like, I'm assuming that there's just lots of gravel in those rolling hills coming out of there, or is there only so much commercial available?
Well, we had a gravel pit on our farm for a long time when I was a kid growing up, and we thought it would never run out.
Yeah.
It did. So it's probably 35 years old or 40 years old. It's been gone for 5, so yes, it'll run out.
Yeah.
So that, and because we have good gravel in some of those pits, it becomes very attractive to other municipalities and other projects, right? So it's not just your mom and pop gravel pit anymore, right?
There's probably more gravel that's taken out of this area and gone to other areas than what's used in the area.
Yeah.
That's what I put it.
Probably got my bars on it.
Like our Fisher pit down the road, it's gonna last, because we're going into the second level, I don't know what's the all that.
Right.
Because at some point we have to start talking about strategic reserves, right?
Yeah.
You can't sell it anymore because we need it for the next 30 years, 40 years.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta be careful as an iron how we waste it. Put it on the right roads and that kind of stuff, back road to back road. That's what it is.
That's part of the long-term frugal part. The CAO seems to like.
I've learned the terminology.
Take the gravel away.
You're not tricking me into that again, Jim.
So the reason I'm asking about that is because the Costa Truck has, they'll supply out of their pit, I'm assuming, instead of us using our resource out of the Fisher pit. So I don't know if that's a concern or not, or if it's just something to think about in the future.
Yeah, I think because of the way this code read, that wasn't part of it, but I think that's something we'll have to definitely consider in the future, is if somebody else will use their own gravel. The control we have with this gravel pit is we know what's in there.
Yes.
The clay content and those kind of jazz things. Because there is a difference in that too, huge difference.
Just go green, and go to the back, or I can go back to 1, no problem.
And then the supply of gravel adds an additional 32,000 for 8,000 yards.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 350 a yard something was on that one.
And then you have the 2,400 for 600.
Well, as Earl said, as it goes by the tendering process, we have to honor the lowest tender, unfortunately. Right?
What a $28,000 difference to use on it.
Yeah.
Which is, it's good that these guys are competitive with that.
Yeah.
Because we have lots of roads going forth and we had another chance.
Yeah.
Because it's,
It should be stipulated, I mean, I'm not saying whatever, but I mean, or can I say anything?
well, you're here. But we haven't any decision.
No, but
The slopes is work.
the
It's,
slopes are,
but I guess we can ask Melissa when she gives us, we say the council expects
yeah.
this as a finished product.
Yeah.
And I guess when the contract is awarded, we need to, if we're going the way we're thinking here, is to reiterate that with this tender proposal that, you know, just because it wasn't put into their quote,
Yeah.
that they still have to request for a proposal, they have to follow these guidelines
Yeah.
to the T, right?
Yeah.
Well, this-
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
it's not
like
on
that
the
should be
city.
4 to 1.
It does say on there, yeah.
Yeah, part way down the list there for once.
Yeah.
Yeah, the shoulders to be compacted,
Stool.
that's it on the boat dirt. Like, hopefully he's not gonna be hauled dirt in, is what I'm saying.
No, and we could, like I say again, we could get, with council's thinking, get Melissa to clarify that before the job starts. And then this is what council means by this, you know what I mean? Just so in case, I don't think there'll be a discrepancy there, but I mean, like, it's worthwhile clearing up, because we don't want to talk about it after it's finished.
No,
Right.
because I know, Langford said this should be compacted the gravel on the slopes of the grade or what, no,
No,
no.
yeah, it's correct.
You gotta put something that will grow grass.
Yeah, the whole,
Yeah.
yeah,
So that's something that's gotta be addressed.
clarified, yeah.
So my only other concern is going with the lowest bid route. Because we didn't specify the, like, place and compact lift of A-based and culvert beds in the tender, if we specify that, it would be a change order that could be billed as an extra.
Well, I'm assuming that the culverts that are there are done properly, so they're replacing what's currently there with new, right?
Yeah.
But is that our
That's the
still?
ones who knows.
Yeah. And is that like, if that's the RM standard going forward? Because that should, to me, that should be like, if we wouldn't replace a culvert with a compacted lift of A-base, then it's not the RM standard, therefore it'd be, unless we specified it in the tender, it would be a change
I
order.
don't know, honestly, that's another change we make. I don't know if we have a standard, but the idea, the concept is correct. But I mean, it's,
But then you're changing the tender again.
And that's what I'm saying, that's why it would be a change order that would be billed extra. If they weren't going to do it, they didn't specify it,
We didn't specify.
and we didn't specify it.
Right. The other one contractor specified that they're gonna do
Yeah.
one, right? So,
But is that what we want though, going forward, is that's how we should do
the
it?
next time,
Next time.
Yeah,
next
yeah.
time, vote.
learning curve, right?
Yeah, it would be their idea to put it in the next list we have, but it's,
But that learning period, that's nothing that should be addressed when he goes to installing culverts, whoever it may be.
yeah.
That they should be put in with gravel, because a learning curve, if you put black dirt in there, what's it gonna help with that
Oh,
road?
no, I agree with that. I mean, it's an
Well, I
absolute.
guess put it this way, if we're gonna have site supervisors, if you wanna call it,
Yeah.
that's where you put it, then that they can specify it when that day comes.
Right,
Well, then, same with contract awarding, we can ask, make sure that this, we'd like this done, this is something you're able to do.
Exactly.
Because it's not a bad ask, I mean, they're bringing gravel to the site anyway, like,
Yeah.
like, eventually hauling AVs to the site, so bringing
Yeah.
it during culvert installation.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because I would think they'll do that first, the culverts
Well,
before they start
definitely.
doing the rest of the road, so.
yeah.
Now, did the RM and Langford have any changes to this proposal? They were all on board with this?
I sent it to her ahead of
Okay, so they didn't change anything. They may discuss it in council too, as we are too.
Right. Yeah.
But we don't know that until Monday, so I guess those are little extras, I guess we need to discuss it after the fact.
Yeah.
I guess. Well, it depends what they're looking at too, right?
Yeah.
Then the only other thing I'm gonna say on that one is no, I said it already. Done.
Cool, actually, I guess it kind of happened, let's see that on there. It says, the top, the second line, it says, first line, it says Boundary Road 84, north, supply and replace culvert as specified.
Yeah, so they should.
But that means we have to have our specifications.
Well, that's, so we can do that, when we, if we decide to make this motion, go ahead with this, we can make that specification on the list
Yeah.
when they do the work. That is on there.
Because it should just be a matter of.
Because I can move one, two,
Here's,
I can
here's
go
culverts,
backwards.
especially when you got new staff on public works.
Right.
This is how we do things here. And then if there's a reason to change it, later you go, so.
Yeah, so now, this is.
Yeah, 'cause it'll be there a longer time if we do it from the beginning, just like put the proper bricks underneath those.
Yeah. And it would be really nice if we could do this one perfectly. Otherwise, we're gonna be fun, like I said.
That's not really gonna go along with my tenor here so far, though. Perfect.
Sorry. I retract this.
Not to be expected.
Nothing's perfect and nobody's perfect. Pretty close. Never one.
Perfect when I'm
Perfect,
sleeping.
only in the eye of the beholder.
I'm perfect when I'm sleeping.
So we're agreed?
We have,
So.
yeah, we have to. That's the tender process, so.
So was that supposed to be on here?
I don't know.
I mean, you said it already, I mean, I didn't think that was gonna be, sorry.
No, I think we're pretty open about it.
And
I just don't want to get in trouble.
No, I know that.
But going with the tender, if we were gonna argue our way up to the next one, then we'd be in trouble, I believe. I don't understand all the laws, but I mean, because we're doing the tender process,
Yeah.
whether you refrain from voting or not is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I just wanna see the road done. Once it's properly
That
done.
one there.
In fact, it's in this end of the municipality way out of the way.
They gotta have some something, gotta throw them a bone.
Oh, that's right, that's right, that's right.
Earl.
I know he's not even here to apply this.
I know, it's funny, isn't it? I'm gonna send them a text when we're done, I've decided to table until next year.
He will call me.
I can, yeah, I can give it a kick.
I just have this one here that's same one. as-
Request for proposal for
Oh,
84
yeah.
North Boundary Road between
I think that's coming up. I know what you're getting at.
the RMO.
Yeah, oh, yeah, well, I know.
North side looks like for received quotes. Therefore, let it be resolved that the RMO Roads will award the tender to Rempel for the amount of $145,250 pending approval by North Cypress Langford Council. Do I have a mover?
I'm sorry, but I thought you were gonna change that last line.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Pending
sorry.
communication?
Yeah, I thought you were gonna stroke that out.
I don't know what you mean the top and then.
The bottom.
I thought maybe some of that stuff could be on warranty. Because it did that, I don't know.
Communication with North Cypress Langford?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amount of $1,045
Dan,
pending
the
communications.
last two pages
North
just said
Cypress
or something
Langford
there.
Council. Do I have a mover?
Yeah.
He's gonna be so proud.
Seconder? All in favor? Carried.
If you send a text or anything, you have to do it as a group text, so we can all see the response.
Do
That's
the-
actually, that is better. That is.
And then you probably have to buy a cake or something.
Or a plane ticket.
You don't want to actually too scared of them to actually do that, right?
Okay, I guess we'll have to go in camera for the rest.
Community clinic, let's do that one. Community clinic, community leisure lottery.
Oh, right there, sorry, I wanted to jump on that, sorry.
Yeah.
We can do the Eden Hall too, yeah.
Lower parts,
Look here.
not much. Not very, maybe like.
Oh,
water hall.
Yeah, we can do that one without camera.
Whatever you want.
Yeah, no, okay, so the community clinic,
But it messes up the meeting minutes when we jump around like that.
Is that something that?
Because
Yeah,
then
actually,
it's
for
like mess up.
right.
But this one can go down to the bottom, we can do both of these and then go to camera for that. And then we'll do
And then
it.
there's stuff like mine, that she, mine
Is that
is two.
Yes.
Cause I can adjust.
That page.
okay, do this one and then, Oh, okay.
It changes how it gets recorded.
yeah.
Cause
Yeah.
we're supposed to go in the order
Like,
of the resolutions
exactly.
for the minutes.
I thought we were
So that
covered
Right.
messes it up.
that too, for some reason.
Okay, the community clinic committee.
So the leisure lottery, Robert had brought forward that we always support the leisure lottery by supplying funds or proof of funds if they don't sell all of their tickets or what have you. But he had shared with me that generally it's a revenue earner. So I think previous years we've put up $30,000.
Yes.
We, the council, agreed to provide up to $30,000 backing the community clinic committee to the Farmer and Leisure Lotto event in 2023. Do I have a mover? Or seconder? All in favor? Carried.
Manitoba Municipality's Fall Convention. Carl, what do you think there, Carl?
Association of the Manitoba Municipality. It's in Brandon this year, is it not? Or is that the AMM one, or is that the?
That'll be the AMM one.
That's the AMM one.
November and
It'll be in Brandon.
I didn't realize you guys can't see the notes that I put on there, so I had the dates and everything in there for you guys to see as well, but it's not printing. So I'll look into that.
Let's see, put it on your document. Did you put it in documents?
No, it's under notes. But this must be a public agenda. You just click and, oh, I don't know how you're viewing. Can you scroll to the all the way to the top? Click on that bar,
Which, this
Yeah,
one?
the green
Yeah,
one.
menu.
and then go to agendas. Oh, you guys don't have, because I can alter and edit everything, so mine looks different. Okay, because there's a public version and then there's a inside version. Okay, I'll put those notes in a different cell next time.
Yeah, well, that's not fine.
Printed.
So it's just got all the dates and everything.
Yeah, I think it's November 28, 29, 30. I just looked it up on the website because Earl had said there was a conference coming up. So I guess just need to understand, registration isn't open yet. I just wanted to understand from council who wants to go and how many rooms I need to book.
I would like to go, but I won't need a room, I don't think.
Okay. You'll just drive back.
Hey,
You said there's no rooms booked from?
Not yet.
No, registration's not open for the events.
Registration's not
yet.
open.
As far as rooms, she said.
I do, Kara probably booked rooms.
Yeah, she,
She always booked it earlier?
Back for
she
an
did,
event before registration?
Yeah.
Okay.
she tried to, whenever every year, yeah.
Okay.
It was hard to get in sometimes.
So I think it's at the Canada Inn.
Yeah, it's
So I
in the
can call
map, it's in
them.
the Facility Center.
Is it worth going to, the fall one? Because I enjoyed the spring one, but.
Yeah, I don't remember, what's the spring one, so this is spring one.
the spring you guys got more out of the fall one last year was not great.
No.
But that
No.
was, for whatever reason, maybe this year the fall one was good, so.
Yeah. There's always so many sessions you go to in the fall, this
I was at
last year was happy.
Oh, Susan Alley.
So I think there's like a banquet and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
icebreaker.
It's a good event, but any information provided was terrible.
Okay.
Yeah, best way to put it. I won't be attending, and I will explain that once that's off to council in its entirety, I guess, at the end of the meeting, so, the reason why.
Okay, I think Earl is planning on going and probably wants a room. What about you, Ron?
I would say yes, yeah.
And then a room,
Room, I'm not gonna say,
maybe?
maybe.
So then I can follow up with Ernie and Robert as well and see what they would choose. It's a long way
Yeah.
away, so
What's the approximate date? Or-
November 28th, I think, 29th,
20,
30th, I believe is the.
This spring was gonna be in Brandon this coming year.
and the spring one will be in Brandon.
Yeah.
They do it one year, when you're there.
It used to be spring, or say fall, spring, fall, or whichever.
Yeah,
Now they're having it both, back to back kind of thing.
that's probably a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know before we used to go to so many different sessions you can go listen to whatever. And last fall there was what?
Yeah, it was.
Wasn't mine, maybe.
No, well, it-
And how can you do them all at once?
Yeah, it wasn't
No.
wonderful. As a first-time experience, it was
I was only twice.
memorable in a certain way.
It was only twice in my whole time.
So registration starts September 13th.
Not that far away.
No, next week. And then the spring convention will be running as well. It's April 9 to 11. That wasn't on there last week either, so.
You doing there?
And I don't know if there's any other events that you guys generally go to, or if that's the main ones.
AMM's a big one, yeah.
Anything else that comes up, I'm sure you're gonna get an email.
Well, there's a lot of things going on that.
Yeah, there is one where the councilors or reeves get together out of the different municipalities. I was supposed to go that one in Shoal Lake, but Mom ended up in the hospital.
That was back in the spring, early spring
Yeah.
sometime, was it?
Yeah, but they've had another one since.
Okay.
Yeah. What's his name was out of Mouse, why I didn't attend, and I said I didn't know about it, so. But whatever. So it's just, they get together and meet and talk about, somebody usually comes out of one of the ministers or whatever out of Winnipeg. Or out of the AMM, and just go through stuff.
Berlin's coming back, right?
I thought it was, the phone's here. Yeah.
Sure.
So supplementary tax assessments are on the agenda, so we had spoken earlier, I got the list from the MMO website, did all the adjustments or calculations per day, and then how many days the property owners would owe. And the total outstanding is 8,217. So based on the assessment year and when it got assessed, would determine if they owe more, they owe less, or if their property was subdivided, then we would make tax adjustments for them for the year.
Okay, where are we, the excuse me, whereas we have considered the 2023 listing of taxes to be added pursuant to section 300 bracket 6 and 326 of the Municipal Act addition and reductions to the 2023 assessment and tax rolls of the municipality as provided by the administrative branch, be it resolved that the supplementary taxes be imposed in respect of each property listed on the list of additional or taxes canceled if the list indicates a reduction, as may be the case, be it further resolved that notification be mailed to each property owner listed. Do I have a mover? Seconder. All in favor? Carried.
So 2023 tax sale will take place October 13th at 10 a.m., I believe. So that's a regular scheduled council meeting date. So 3 properties are up for sale, 2 in Kelwood and 1 in Franklin, and all the listings have been posted as per tax services.
Tax sale is scheduled to take place. Does anybody got anything more to say about that? No. A tax sale is scheduled to take place on October 3rd, 2023. Therefore, it be resolved that the RM of Rosedale place a reserve bid on all properties in the amount of all arrears and costs owing to the RM of Rosedale in respect of each property, and that the CAO be authorized to bid on the property. Do I have a mover? Earl Burton. Seconder? All in favor? Carried. Okay. Clean Fire Hall, water line connection.
So I just wanted, because the Eden Fire Hall water line connection is kind of at a standstill, I did ask Water Services to provide the municipal drawings as well as any drawings they had associated to the non-potable water lines. So I have all of those. Potable water is available to the fire station and it's close by because we don't know where the other line is. I do have a proposed drawing which would be attached, which I don't think actually took place. And then also, this is a drawing I think that we probably could help determine where the line is. So I think it's farther south into the actual public works yard than we think it is. So I guess I'm asking for council's approval or direction to either do some exploratory digging ourselves to try to find it, get it located, whatever, or hook up to the municipal line and just supply the fuel station through municipal line.
I did a little bit of research into this. We don't know where that water line is, right? So we could be spending more money, we already spent money on it. We could be digging in, trying to find it. Is it beneficial to keep digging, or do we just move on? And here's a suggestion. That the fire trucks in the summertime fill up where they're already filling up at the old fire hall and use the unpotable water. Come winter time, we already got the line going into the fire hall and use potable water in the colder seasons, I guess, to fill the fire trucks. Now, talking to the fire chief, we did a estimate of gallons per that would be used per year, which is about at max 25,000 gallons for filling up the fire truck. So you could put that into, I think they sell that water to cubic meters, right?
Yeah.
So that would end up being 127.55 cubic meters of water we'd use to fill up our fire trucks. I don't know what a cubic meter of water is worth, but it can't be that much.
I wouldn't drive out anywhere to fill it once you hook that up as a firefighter back into the hall, fill it on the potable water, or if that's what we choose to put in, that's what's in Keller Hall, we get fluoridated water just because it's there. But I mean, I'm not against hooking into water. I'm against waiting too much longer.
Yeah, well, that's, I guess, why I did this math at Municipality.
What's the cost on hooking up to the potable water system? Is it accessible?
That's a great question.
Like, it's well marked, I'm assuming, where it is.
The meter's already there in the fire hall.
No, that's not enough water, bro.
There's not enough volume.
Then you get this much, you need this much.
You got like a
But don't you have the
Yeah, like
big,
2-inch line was what we got coming in.
don't you have the 2-inch line coming to the water meter?
I doubt it.
I don't think they do.
It'll be a three-quarter or
Yeah.
5/8 line,
Probably, yeah.
because it's just for like kitchen sink
Yeah.
and laundry soap, that kind of stuff, whatever, it's not bad.
So would we pay the town of Nequa hookup then to that?
Well, that's my question, is would we pay the regular?
I bet you would, I bet you
Town
would.
of Nequa.
Bet you would.
Okay.
So we'd be paying that $15,000 or $18,000 hookup?
Yeah.
Again?
Yeah.
Because
Because
you're
you're
not
bringing to each line.
oh, yeah, rehook it, yes, you would, every other line, either a second line or, so like the cost goes back
Probably
up.
cheaper to go from the well.
Yeah, back to that.
Put a new line right from the well, I'd say. and
That's what,
get
that's
it.
my 100% vote, that's, I just,
Right from the well that you have to find, or,
no, the well, you know where the well
We have
is, just
the
the
well.
water,
Oh,
the
so
line is,
the
the
well
line, we
is
don't know where it is, Jeff.
Half
The old
mile.
line, they don't know how good it is, or how it is, or where it is, or.
Yeah, but what's it gonna cost to put a new line?
So I just have a question.
Yeah.
We had one fire call and we're spending $30,000 putting a new line in to fill the fire truck up twice a year.
Yeah.
If we're lucky,
Like,
get twice a year.
and it's heated in there, in the station, or do they go back there and refill it up and then go back out to the fire? Because they hook to the hydrant
No.
when they're at the,
No, there's no hydrants. So they go back.
they go back.
Yeah,
So that they
They either go back
fill-
or else the colony's called in with a pumper truck to come
Okay.
in.
Yeah.
The only, the trucks are filled before they leave,
Mhm.
and then when they're done the fire call, they come back and refill for the next call.
Yeah, it's always full.
Okay, because we just empty it at the,
Scene.
depending on how big the.
At the scene,
is.
yeah, and we always fill up, so does he fill up when they're done the call. But in their situation, they're doing it in inclement weather, and lots of times in the middle of the night, you know, because we don't have fires in the afternoon.
So it's more about having the capacity as opposed to the number of calls, right?
Yeah,
And
it's
to fill it
convenient, and the
quickly.
convenience, and yeah, capacity, convenience, it's a,
Okay.
So directional drilling from the well should be basically the same cost as digging up, finding, or connecting
Yeah.
to the municipal
Yeah.
potable water supply, I would guess, wouldn't it?
I would say.
that was my, yeah, roundabout guess,
Because your pump's at the well already,
so it's just line and trenching.
line and trenching, yeah.
And we've already gone under the road.
It's under the road,
to
really.
fire hall.
And it's already running under the road, so.
I think hoses sticking up both sides, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you would have to then directional drill from the south side ditch right to the well.
or just trench,
Or trenching.
you can trench it back,
Just call it a
only
day.
half a mile.
But you'd have to do all your locates and everything else then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Or
So
regards.
You're gonna do your locates anyways.
Regards.
The
So if this-
existing line is on the south.
We assume it's on, we assume it's on the south side.
no, they trenched that through though, that already been, drilled under the road.
Yeah.
From the PR, or the PR to the fire hall's done.
Yes.
From the field side, so all we do is connect onto that, head for the well.
Back to the well.
And are you suggesting that it's the RM's equipment, then we would just send an RM employee to do the trenching?
I don't know. if
Sorry,
we're-
I'm sorry.
We-
The line
Sure.
from the well is on the north side
Yeah.
of 265.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Was that
So
right?
this is the
Right up
existing
and down.
well.
Okay.
And
Drill
this
the
is the
middle
old water
line.
treatment plant, so it's
Where
running.
where we were
On the north
working
side.
for it on the south side,
Oh.
then they done it again.
Oh, I was under the
on
impression it
north
was on this side, so.
They didn't dig far enough. going
And then
north.
if we look at
They hit
the
that
drawings,
early
And they would have told me to go.
like these are just
Going down the
existing
way.
lines
West.
for 103.
So we wouldn't have to go underneath the road.
We went under the road for nothing.
Yeah.
No way.
Where's
Yeah.
265 on here?
We saddled a horse before we bought the horse. That's what it is.
So that was.
If you know what I'm getting
someone else.
Wow. Well, the best thing, you know what I'm getting at, no, we didn't even, we saddled a horse, we didn't have a horse. We didn't do, unfortunately.
Too far, fair enough.
This is our.
We looked into this,
So 10, drawing 103.
because there's two drawings. One's drawing, the original existing drawing shows on the south side, the next drawing shows it on the north side.
Did anybody,
So what-
did Robert ever ask Uncle Malcolm?
So
Or
I
he
think
did
it's
again?
running here.
They kept saying south
Because
side.
this line used to be straight, right?
They said, yeah.
So then it curved
Here's some-
around.
That's what they
So I
said.
think it's right
So
here.
according to the next drawing,
Yeah,
Go with the
so
well.
that was
So
right here.
after
And it goes under
the
here.
proposed plan was the south
Yeah.
side. The actual plan, what we've come up with,
According to the
is
drawing, and then this is.
went from the well, across the
This is an
road,
old one.
and then went down the north,
which makes
I don't know
sense.
if it's ever implemented.
exactly, and then they would have went,
But
because
the thing-
we both
East of the
know
road,
that
it's
straight,
on,
right?
right?
So they
Yeah,
went
it's on the road,
Yeah,
right?
but
and
this
then
is
straight
just
across the road,
proposed water
and
line.
then underneath the river, and yeah, right
And
across.
this one
Oh,
was
across the highway.
for,
Yeah, yeah.
And then went, you should remember where that trench was in the schoolyard. I remember,
So the water
the trench went right through the schoolyard.
supplied that drawing.
I remember that,
Right.
yeah.
So I
Not with a
think
baseball
it's
diamond.
probably
Yeah,
right
Right there.
Straight
here
there.
in our yard.
Wow.
So that's $20 for the.
But I don't know
If this-
if this is,
If the map is right, we gotta dig for 20 feet.
If the map is right.
But you, I don't know how you,
So we other,
you don't wanna dig around with the equipment, you can maybe do it in the unorthodox way with witching or
So I was
something.
gonna say that.
Because I mean, digging in the ground is easy, we all love doing it, taking care of the hole, but I mean, it's dangerous too. Because I mean, if you hit the line, the wrong line, and you got a repair to do of some sort, so it's.
because you have both lines there.
Yeah, so I'd like to see,
yeah, both lines are.
witching is safe.
But then if it is on the north side, what we drilled underneath the road is useless.
Right.
Yeah, for nothing.
But that's hindsight, like you
Yeah.
say, it would happen.
I know, but I'm just saying, depending on how old what I'm getting at is just my opinion. We're getting into an old line again. We already got the new line going underneath the road.
Yeah.
When they just
Oh,
trench it straight to the well, hook up to the pump with a new line and you're done.
Then Then you don't have to look for
And
it.
then you don't have to look for it.
Yeah.
We already got the hose trenched underneath the road.
Actually, I like that thinking. It's because we're gonna look for something we might not find there either.
And how do we know how good that line is? It's been in for how many years?
50 years, 1970.
So let's call it obsolete.
I'm just saying.
Mid-70s it put in.
I support that thinking actually. Because you're right, because we're gonna put a brand new copper on a very, very old line, so.
Option one, you put a new line from the well to the, what we already got dug in.
Yeah.
On potable. Option two, you go potable water done. There's only these two options right now.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if the cost for the potable water was less than, or if the hookup was less than, because the water is the water. I mean, it's potable, but it's, I should say that the amount of water, but it's convenience for a firefighter is through the roof. Like we're not, like I didn't realize till 5 years ago that Eden had to go downtown to get water. Craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
So then we put a tender out specifying putting a water line in from the existing well to that south ditch to know what our cost is really gonna be.
Footage, whatever.
The hose, yeah.
Your line, plus your hookup in your well.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can dig that
The
in.
trenching is the big thing.
Well, trenching out.
But I guess we can, yeah, if we got to tender that process, tender it out any way you want to do it. Somebody wants the directional board, go ahead, it's this cost. If the guy will trench it for this cost, and then we can hook on the potable water for that cost, then at least we know what we're talking
Well,
for.
that's what I'm getting at, is whether do,
A, B, or C.
exactly, we get two options, right?
Yeah.
So we figure out the cost of each option and then make a decision from there.
Because I think, I like the original option is to take out the hooking on to the old lines, unless it's the potable water line. I don't mean that, but I mean, like digging up to find that old line is a waste of our time. For 50-year-old hose,
Yeah.
it's a waste of our time.
As far as I'm concerned.
And a waste of taxpayer.
I like Carl's ideas. To start with, a tender on that, and then the other 10 would be, or the other thing is to find out the cost of hooking up to potable. And then you got two options, you choose
Make it as
one choice.
Yeah, because we've still got a month to do that, and that's not a
Yeah.
problem.
Because I don't know what it's gonna cost to trench that line in, no idea.
And then we need to think about how we're
60
gonna pay
feet.
the contractor that has already done work.
Yeah, 60 feet an hour.
Yes.
That will need to be resolved.
The one that started the project?
They're giving us 60 feet.
Yes,
Yeah.
because he's already put in
Small
effort
hole.
and has done work to the project as per the specified tender. So now, how do we proceed forward?
Tell them thanks.
Well,
I don't think that's gonna be an
unfortunately, he did his
option.
part to a point. To a point.
This is.
I know you got a tough one on that one, I
Yeah.
understand that. But I guess we need to go with those two options to figure out
Yeah.
our next.
Figure out our next move, and then we can figure out what we'll do with the original contractor.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is that?
You'll have a copy of what that original contract said, right?
I hope I can.
Yeah, there is one.
I think something that needs to be considered is everybody was thinking it was on the south side, they were telling him it was on the south side, so.
Yeah.
Kara had all these drawings already after I asked for them for water services. I found them all in the files, so I'm assuming they were given out.
I never seen.
No, I
Okay.
I just remember the tender process, but I don't remember the.
I remember tender process, but there was no drawings.
Because the water services, this one for sure, had already been sent. So, but maybe there was a lack of understanding of where directionally these things were.
Or Northwood?
Yeah. Just because maybe that was the issue.
Great. Open discussion. Road 101 north, 119, and 110 north.
101?
We talked about that anyway.
Did we talk about
Is it
it?
yeah, that's a
100 or
100.
is it 100?
100.
100.
Oh, it's supposed to be 100, it's in here.
It's supposed to be
101.
100, okay.
Erie Great 101.
Gravel, I thought, we're asking the one.
Historical Bernie Nursery ground.
So I got a call from a ratepayer because his property, as he's exposing the land, garbage is falling out of the property into the creek. So he wanted to know if it was in fact a nuisance ground. So we did find some information from 1989 that it was sold to a private person, and it was a nuisance ground, it was Bernie nuisance ground. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention. He was asking me if the RM could perhaps help, and my response was I would bring it to you, but I'm assuming because it's private land, it's private land. It doesn't belong to the municipality anymore, and I believe it's changed hands several times
Yes, it
since
has.
the original
Yeah.
purchase.
Yeah.
But he has contacted Watershed to come out and assist, I think, so we can't have garbage just falling into the streams and rivers.
Yeah.
It was that close.
It was, yeah. Well, I remember that only too well. Of course, I'm dating myself when I say that, but whatever. Oops, that the camera's on.
You're only 29 there, right?
Yeah. Well, over the years, the waterway has moved towards that location too.
Yes, yes.
It shifts on its own.
Yeah,
Over the
so,
years, yeah.
yeah, it keeps on moving towards the north, so where they,
So I'm not sure if maybe we could help him with, if there's any grant money, if there's anything to help him, so that he's not on the hook.
what is he asking for? He didn't really.
He
ask
just
for-
wants to know if we can help him out, because he doesn't, I don't think, know what to do entirely. So I can follow up with him and see what he's found out from Watershed, what advice they've given him. I'm assuming they're gonna want it capped, but if there's a waterway right there, I don't know how.
You're not gonna cap that, it's all buried.
Yeah.
It's all surface, there's no mountain or anything there, it's all been level over the years. And the waterways keep moving north, so now it's exposing that area. Because that area you're talking about, there probably was only, I would say, 50 feet, maybe, I don't know, maybe more than that. Maybe 100 feet from the waterway to that certain ground area.
And that was an RM controlled and managed?
Years ago, it's been put out of commission for a long time. Like I'm talking, it's probably close to 50 years it's been on decommissioned or more. Well, not would be more than 50 years. 40 years anyways. 40 years, yeah.
You
40
said
years.
Frank was a 2% on 40.
Yeah.
Well, I should say 40.
But, like say, with all the natural disaster, not natural disaster, but all the water that we've been fighting, we've been having, you know, a creek can move over a long way in a short period of time. And it has, so.
Hence the reason for the new setbacks going forward,
Yeah.
new water setbacks.
Yeah.
I don't know if the environment can do anything for it or not. But that will come back and bite us then. It's environment. But it's on private land.
No, private, yeah.
Yeah.
It's private land now, so.
Yeah.
Well, there is site cleanup funds available for
Yeah.
things that are outside of, like, if you decommission something to the standards of the day, and then things change going forward, you're not held to the new standard, but you're also, this person isn't necessarily have to pay the full cost of a problem that's out of his control.
Right.
And so there is provincial site cleanup stuff for things like that, for mine tailings, oil, that sort of thing. And I would hope that there's something in there for him, but that'd be something to look at.
Okay.
Because the province gave millions of dollars to all the polluted sites that were leaking into water bodies. There was approximately $50 million spent over the last 10 years just to take things that orphaned sites that nobody was responsible for anymore, that were causing problems like old equipment out the bush, or acid generating rock leaching into waterways, that sort of thing. And there was the super sites got all cleaned up. And again, hopefully this would fit into that.
All right.
Hey, greater operations.
Greater options.
That, we just kind of discussed that.
We just kept it up.
We'll move on from there.
So has anybody else got any discussion?
I have two things I have to tell you.
Okay.
So you were talking about the population of Kelwood went up. So Franklin, Manitoba had a New Year's baby, and it's been approximately 30 years since they've had one.
Oh, wow.
So there's I won't say the name because we're on camera, but Franklin does have a New Year's baby by now. And I was kind of as a tongue-in-cheek sort of thing, I was going to write, or I wanted the Reeve to write a letter on our Rosedale letterhead, congratulating this town on being like basically 30 years worth of New Year's babies, and welcome to Franklin. And I don't know whether, like, because I have a twisted sense of humor, I don't know whether the RM wants to get involved in what I consider to be funny or not. But I would like to, if the RM doesn't want to put an official letterhead on that letter, I'm just going to send one myself. And because that shall increase the population of Franklin by about 7%. So,
Awesome.
yeah, that's a population growth curve. And the other thing I wanted to mention was, I've got a couple of work orders that I can't remember if I gave you 89 North, the one that I mentioned in that letter. I can't remember what work order I gave you. So I might be resubmitting it, so I just want to say that, because I'm not keeping track of what I said to you, I'm not harassing you if I'm doubling up on the thing. It's just because I forgot. Okay. And there'll be a little bit of gravel spread. And that's it for me.
I guess when we talked last meeting about 471, what extra gravel did you talk to anything?
Sorry.
Extra gravel on 471.
471, did you get it?
Never found out nothing from the highways, if we could put extra on.
We can put whatever we want on, and then we just have to record what we put on and then send it to them, what we put. Does it need more gravel?
Well, certain spots in Boise, there's nothing.
Okay.
What
'cause-
spot are you thinking on that road? Well, I know there's some spots. I guess
What spot doesn't need it?
Well, and I guess, like I say, I'm not trying to, just from what I recognize from going up the road, there's that 1 mile that's bad, it's from 90, I think, to 89. There's a whole mile there, you can see where it's awful dark looking, I guess you want to call
Yeah, right, from the first,
it. Second mile up on the highway.
well, even the first mile.
Yeah.
There's a spot in there,
Yeah.
you can't keep the gravel on, I mean, that's,
Yeah.
there needs some rubber support there, but, yeah, there's a stretch in there, right, where that big bin is,
Yeah,
just before that.
yeah, that's the part I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's terrible there.
Yeah,
And then I say from 90 to 91, it ain't pretty.
Yeah.
And then there's spots, like that whole mile needs it. And then from there on, it's just patchwork here and there.
It's kind of those low-lying areas and a little bit
Well,
some of there.
and some of the, not like St. Ellis is there. That's another thing that I was gonna ask. Grading through these calcium spots.
It's funny, Mike asked the other day, and I said, well, I don't know, I said I'd bring it up, I guess my fault I didn't, but when did they start doing it? Because right now, being a lot of traffic in there from harvest season, do we want to do that, or do we want to wait for a little bit? Because they're rough, that one of the houses is bad.
Ellis is terrible.
It is.
It's always bad, it is really
It is
bad.
bad,
And they always say when there's moisture, like, I mean, it was wet, they can do it when it's wet.
yeah.
But if they didn't even, according to what you agreed, that if they did it in the morning, when you say when you can't combine, you can do that, maybe do a couple of sites that are really bad.
Yeah, 'cause
But then it gets them running around, but I mean, a little bit, but it's.
But that calcium will also work up too, they won't get rid of it, so
Yes,
it
yes.
should be all right.
Because it's bad. I mean, you have with grain trucks or person vehicles too, but grain trucks hold the mold.
So we should have done it today? Because we were gonna do it today, and then we didn't, because we had heard that it was fine. So we were
Yeah.
gonna do it.
Yeah, no, I
Just
mean,
remember
Oh, on the
to
road,
do it.
yeah, we were just talking about the calcium sites.
You know, so whether we agree to, they're gonna kill
Yeah, but
them.
the rest of the road is pretty decent, like parts.
Rest of the road's not bad.
Other than there's no material places, but gravel.
And then what, around, was it Baker's or Colchers is pretty bad too, for calcium spot too, it was bad enough for rough.
Cultures isn't too bad, I didn't think.
It's getting there.
Further beyond that, where that soft spot is. that-
Yeah, I mean, it's always been
back
backed up, nothing.
With the spring there, it needs to be the same thing. I'll go geo.
Geode, yeah.
So direction for the public works is going forward, they can go through all the calcium spots to get things in good condition for the winter? Would that be?
Is it too early though, is what I'm saying?
That's the question I'm asking.
But they're not gonna get them all done if we don't start tomorrow, or Monday, sorry. Because it's honestly, I mean, it's gonna be dusty anyway, harvest isn't a long ways from over.
No.
But if they did, I don't know how you can do the calcium spots in the morning, say before it gets dry, because it's always damp in the morning right
Or
now.
if you get these rim, we'll get a little shower of rain or something, they can just go and
Do them.
cut them because there's holes, it's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is probably the worst one there.
Alice is not.
I think they might as well just start cutting through them and be done. As they're going, they're not gonna get them all done one day.
It'll be 30 days, maybe in all, that's for sure, 40 maybe more.
I know that with Tony Valley one, it is fine, it's good, I think. But
because that way they can grade the road properly too from end to
Yeah,
end.
you don't have those little
Bumps,
humps,
stops.
bumps and stops, right?
Well, they're gonna have to, there will be humps and bumps, because they're gonna have to, they should actually cut them first and then grade right through
Then cut them
again.
again,
Yeah, I agree.
Because you'll never do it as you go through it.
Well,
No,
if those
little holes.
so that road gets done on a weekly basis or twice every second week, 471?
We do them weekly, we're gonna do
Okay.
471 today, but we heard it didn't need to be done, so we sent it to other places.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
So
were
we'll
gonna
do it
do
next week.
Yeah,
again.
so
Yeah.
next month they'll start hammering down.
But they haven't been previously, I mean, it's just up till now, they've been gonna do them weekly, but
Yeah.
before that, they weren't. Well, years ago, they weren't.
I would think go through it and be done,
Okay.
continue on, because otherwise we keep waiting, then what, right?
Then
Then all of a
we're-
sudden the snow's flying and then we look at each other, we're all looking at each other, well, what?
You should have done that.
Well, that, and like I say, people that are using, bouncing through them right now, train
Yeah.
trucks.
Bad enough with a half ton, trust me.
Bad enough would have done.
Anything?
I forgot one thing, so I'm sorry.
It's your turn.
Dave, you got anything? Thanks, Carl.
Actually, just a question about, actually, I should have checked when I was doing the bills before, but did the Bourne family get paid for the clay we hauled to the landfill?
I don't know.
Because
They did, was it last?
it might have been, that's what I didn't see last month, but I'm asking just
Last
because.
one it was, yes.
Okay, if that went through and then,
Nurture did.
okay, and then the other one is that this intersection on 110 and 85, I'm gonna call it, is there a way we can get that brushed back? For safety purposes, I know there's a young fella in our area that's got a little skid steer with a brush on it, because I don't know if our mower will get in there.
Right.
And I don't know if our mower has time, because I assume keep mowing grass, but I'm asking, so. I'd like to get that done, because there is a safety issue with bus routes and stuff in there. And
Maybe
it's-
it was just the hauling those paid, sorry.
No, and that's what I'm asking, because I just, it was in my notes this morning, flipping through when I come,
Yeah.
before I come here.
So what are you looking at, an hour to do it? Brush it?
Yeah, an hour or two, because I know he's
I
$100
don't
bucks an
have a
hour.
problem with that.
Yeah.
Okay, it's all, guys, it's Chris, Chris Withrow I'm speaking of, because he's got a little wee skid steer, he'll get in there. And
Yeah.
if he's got time to do the work, it won't be right away maybe, but, because I know Aaron's hard to get hold of. Rosedale's the other guy's the one who's hard to get hold of, so I think Chris is right there, so.
And I think the dollar figure's higher too.
Yeah, and over there, yeah, because this is small holes, I guess like that.
Yeah.
But if that's okay with council, I think he does.
And so.
Okay, but I'd like to see the warrants get paid if they're not, because I mean, it's
Yeah.
been 2 months now, and
I think the hauling was paid, because Scott's,
the Repo did the haul.
yeah, that was, none of the clay on.
Because I just seen it in my notes, geez, I never looked before, so.
So we're checking that.
BOURN?
B-O-U-R-H-N, I think, yeah, N-E.
But they wouldn't have sent in an invoice and everything to get paid.
No, they just, actually, I can show you the copy of what they sent, which I think I can.
Yeah, I think it's just a truck that was paid. No,
Yeah,
I was trying to think,
Because he would have sent a physical bill, right, Repo?
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, these guys just had an agreement they signed with us.
I think so.
But that's all I got, Herb, thanks. I'll look for this while you're,
Now you can go.
oh, one more thing.
It's your turn.
Billy Hawkins, I talked to him 2 days ago. He wants to go on record saying that he wasn't aware that there was a road hauling agreement. And he's sure he's going to be coming in. He's almost done hauling for that area. Yeah, so he figures he hauled 15,000 yards. So he's going to come in and talk to us about signing in for that agreement. And he was also telling me that the road that he was hauling in on the mid-to-Rosedale side, he's actually graveling now when he's done. He's putting 100 yards per mile on that road, because they don't have a road haul agreement on their side. And he also mentioned that they're going to implement one in some fashion copied on ours. So I don't know whether
So he's putting gravel on the boundary road?
he's
About
putting
84?
on the Minto-Dana side. I'm not sure which road he was referring to,
Okay.
but I figured you would clarify that with him. Because if he meant the boundary road, then great. But
And that's only half a mile. That's all he did is from Overside Franklin to the boundary, both boundaries. He hauled down 95, I've seen him myself.
Yeah.
How many times?
But he says he's coming in to square up.
No, good.
Thanks for the heads up, so I'm not blindsided by it.
Yeah, I figured.
I do have one more thing.
Okay.
It's the LED committee is keen to get some quotes together to do the shingles on the community hall, which was in our budget, and they're just asking if it's still okay to proceed, I guess, because the one side of the roof is really bad and it's
Yeah.
leaking inside, so
Yeah, it was in our budget to do that.
Yeah.
I thought we got a grant. Or
For the shingles on the community hall?
$5,000, I thought we got.
Well, that might, maybe that'll go towards it. I'm not sure how that works exactly.
Yeah.
Because they asked if it was okay to go ahead with getting the quotes, because
That
the,
was 27,000.
well, the local town that's out of their scope, of course, right?
Okay,
Just
let's
saying.
take a look
Just saying.
before you go to make sure it's for.
That was the copy of,
Can I have?
you can have a copy of that, because I might forget it again.
And they gave us 1,000 euros?
Yeah.
Yeah. That it?
I just wanted to ask Jeff about 89, so about your note here, 89 north from 94 to 93 west.
Yeah.
Repairs are asking about it.
Yeah.
So is that also on the list of, because 85 is on the list and 89?
Yeah, 89 is one that has been brought up in the past, and I had mentioned it to Kara, but I can't remember if I had given it to you in writing as well.
And then what's the issue with 89?
It is, I've never actually driven it, but in the wintertime, nobody maintains it. But it's an active road that he uses, so he's just getting, when it gets too thick, he just like, I guess there's a bunch of willows that need to be brushed back. There's an old fence line that nobody needs that is causing some drifting. So it's a combination of, the RM has kind of ignored the road for several years.
Okay.
There's been no gravel applied to it, there's no wintertime grading, but he uses that road, and other people use it as a shortcut when 471, I guess, is too wet. But I don't know that for sure, because I'm actually, like, I get myself a little bit lost in there myself, I'm just going by the phone call. But he just felt that he has been forgotten out there.
Okay.
And there's a few things that have happened there that have made it so that he's just a tiny bit frustrated. Not like I'm angry at the world, just frustrated.
Yeah.
Last round, going back to the mower, so the mower, is he up and running, you
Yeah.
said, and he's in Ward 4?
Yes.
Okay, so is he coming back to do that second cut, no, like?
No.
Or he's not doing second cut no more?
Well, he's almost done Ward 4 to do second cut, but extra,
Not extra, but second cut period.
yeah.
He's not even, not close.
I
Has he done
suppose
your
I
road
haven't
yet?
done my road.
Well, you were first on the list. I said, for God's sakes, you Carl.
Whatever you do.
Yeah, go there first.
93, 94, if I'm wrong. You're not
Yeah.
meaning another pass down the ditch, right? You mean just to do, I'm asking what
Is he doing another
No,
pass?
he was doing
What's-
both. He was doing 2.
Two passes.
Yeah, 4 passes per mile.
oh, okay, good.
Yeah,
Who needs that?
4 passes
Gotcha,
per mile.
okay.
Yeah,
Well, 'cause I've got, okay, I'm not,
because
it's second.
he's done one side, a second pass, but the other side's not done
Yeah.
for probably 3 weeks now.
So he was sick 2 days last week.
Mm.
Friday, the mower went down. We
Mm.
just got the mower back today.
Mm.
So 2 weeks of basically inoperable mower.
Right,
So have patience.
yeah. We're just-
We'll be putting a rusher, I think, in the budget next year,
Right,
because we don't have any redundancy with the mower. So we at least need either another mower or some sort of brushing.
Well, we were talking about that.
Brushing,
That
per
Yeah.
word that needs to require the brushing.
Yes, Dave.
Okay, I got one thing. We should be, our old brushing mower and that old fork truck, we should throw it in for tender. And let's
Yeah.
clean up the yard.
And that old tractor too.
Tractor, I would say keep that, just if we have decided something to do with brushing, we have a second tractor.
mm-hmm,
I would hang on the tractor for now, but the old brush mower and that old fork truck, put them up for tender. If we get whatever money we get, we get.
get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
No
Just
such
clean it
thing,
up.
exactly.
And then next spring, we also have a $20-some-thousand sandbagger that we, remember that one we bought?
Right.
I think we should be tendering that out. Do you think we'll ever use it in your arm, Rosedale? Think about that one. No. Agreed.
Listen,
So think about that for next spring. Now's not the time.
But we
to stop.
had to get that for.
We got grants money. I don't know if we can liquidate that under this.
Yeah, I checked into that first.
But it's just food for thought.
Yeah.
Did we just
You
got
go
it
on that
last
lease
week,
and
2022?
We can sell it to Mendoza.
yes.
Yeah,
Which
so
one?
we
Sell
can-
it, sell it anywhere.
Yeah,
But
so-
I think that's why we had to have
Yeah.
one, was to get that money
yeah, we,
for the flood damage.
we put some money in, we got some money
I
back.
don't know how far are we getting on that for the bridges to be replaced and everything. From Centec.
That is an excellent question.
From, what's the company name?
Centec was supposed to do all those,
Sandtech, yeah.
Sandtech was supposed to do all them bridge repairs, all that from the flood.
Okay.
nothing happened.
No, I don't think anything's happened.
There was some sites that were deemed necessary for 2023. Actually, I have that information at home, I'll bring that. Yeah, I'll bring it out Monday, so you have that.
There's millions of dollars of bridge work that has to get done.
Absolutely.
And like,
What's going on?
we've got to get started, and it's hugely expensive, and I don't know, like,
And there was something to do with the flood relief that I understood, but
No, it wasn't, I guess speaking of flood relief, I have a question about the site that I showed you West Cal that day. It's still a DSC site, and then I'm not sure what your notes say anymore, but that site, I know we've asked for an extension, and we're probably gonna get it, or we got it, I'm not sure, but that site needs to be, I don't know, word completed is right, but more work done on it, or next year that road will be gone. So I don't know, and we don't pay for that specifically, but is there a way we could get that job appointed to a local contractor?
Yes, that's why I'm asking DFA,
Okay,
because
okay.
all my records say it's been done. So I need DFA to tell me what do they have recorded in their records
Mhm.
as done?
Okay.
Is that site done
Okay.
or not? Or do we have still extra funds? And of course, I haven't got a return call, but there's other information as well. So site 10 is at an engineering firm. We're waiting on the drawings. They're supposed to be here the end of August.
Mhm.
So I'll have to follow up with them to get the drawings. And then Burns Mendel as well was doing the sampling. So the contract was signed for them to do the sampling at Elk Ranch. So I talked to him last week and he was saying that we need to push some of the trees down so he can do a proper sampling schematic. So he was supposed to send me the drawings this week on where exactly do we need to push the bush so that we can get in there and do samples. Of course, I haven't received those drawings either, so I'll have to follow up on that.
Okay.
And then I met with Environmental Solutions out of Brandon as well last week, just in regards to the Kelwood landfill and the Eden landfill, because they provided a proposal on closing the Eden landfill. So last meeting, we had decided to move forward. I didn't realize their proposal was basically a map to closure for us. I thought we had to do the map and move all of the stuff around, but they will actually supply all that information for us. And then the slopes and the capping and all that information. It's $30,000 though.
Not bad, if safe, that's.
Yeah. And then I have a quote on the liner as well versus the clay, so I'll have to look what, but it's per square meter is what the liner is, so we just have to determine how many square meters the landfill's gonna be, and then we can understand how expensive that liner is going to be if there's no clay at Elk Ranch.
Or Fisher pit, I said we can test that clay too.
Mhm.
Maybe do that much.
In that one corner
That
there.
northwest
Yeah.
corners, that clay.
Yeah, we'll just need, so the testing is $5,700, and that includes very basic analysis to determine if there's clay or not, and then if they determine that we should send testing further, then that testing is much more expensive and will be in addition to the 57.
57.
And we're digging the pits with our equipment as well.
Oh, really?
That's just for them to come
Sample.
and gather the samples.
Wow.
And I think it's six test pits
6 months.
on that property.
okay.
Yeah. I'm just hoping we'll go over.
That we now adjourned this regular meeting at
3:32.
We've been trying to adjourn for
Are
a
you
while.
still paper, maybe?
Probably I am. I took
You want-
it.
you want a copy?
for our
No,
regular
take a
meeting
picture.
on September 8th, 2023
That's fine.
at 10 a.m. Do I have a mover?
I'll move it.
Seconder? Carol.
I was waiting.
All in favor?
I gave him a chance, and he always waits me out.